Good evening and welcome to the Fact TV studio. Joe Brooks and Nate Haskell here. We're going to have a little pre-game preview show where we recap the season here. We're getting into the game here in about 10, 15 minutes. We're going to move along pretty quickly here. So, Nate, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, Joe, we've been talking about it since all year long, and, right from the get-go with the Windsor game and, as the season's progressed for the Terriers and, all the stuff that they've done in accumulating wins and, right up to the Woodstock game where we stood there with Will and, kind of froze our tails off. We weren't that cold, when you're watching the, probably one of the best high school games that we've seen or that's been around in a long time,
I'm not sure I've seen a better one.
Double overtime game where Bells Falls gave it all they could to come back. But, for 8-1 season to be in a position now where you still have this home game, and all the stuff that's gone into this all season long with kind of the ups and downs. And we've talked about, penalties early in the season and turnovers. And, now that we've progressed late in the season, the couple of first halves late that haven't been very productive for the Terriers, but, right back from week one until where we're at now, this Bells Falls team has been pretty good.
Yeah. So let's take a look back at the season a little bit here, Nate. So week one, they started off with a win against Windsor, 44-0. You and I were there to call that game. What do you remember from that one?
Again, the kind of a young Windsor team, but, Bells Falls did what we thought they might do with the offensive line. Just powerhouse and the big guys up front, the Hogs and, Bazin and Connors started, the progression to where they're at, now. And that's where it kind of started.
It was the first play from scrimmage. We saw Bazin take one to the house there, which became a common theme throughout the season.
Yeah, I think that happened 5 or 6 times. Bazin really kind of likes that first play of the game off tackle and taking it to the house.
Other teams not ready for the physicality of that line and the quickness of Bazin. So quick stats here that we got from this game. The Terriers had 458 yards of offense. They averaged 14 yards per carry in that one.
Yeah, again, that started it. Even that the penalties in that one right off the bat, right? Bazin with a punt return, couple of long punt returns in that game called back. But we saw where the offensive line and Lisa and Tostrup's leadership right out of the gate was going to help the Terriers.
And the defense was unreal in that game. Windsor got one first down, last play of the game, chuck down the sideline, like a 17-yard catch. So great all-around effort in the Windsor game. Moving into the second game of the season, this was a highly hyped game. WCAX was here for their Friday night football. It was Bells Falls versus U32. Great game, Nate.
Yeah, you and I had, kind of pegged this as, the kind of the game to watch too. We were excited for it. U32 had gone to Woodstock and kind of put a whooping on them, and we knew Woodstock was going to be a pretty good team. And they came into Bells Falls, and again, the 32-14 score really it's not indicative of how the game went because BF kind of put it to them.
Yeah. And Bazin over 100 yards, Connors over 100 yards, 4 total touchdown between the two, 300 yards rushing for the team, 7 yards per carry. So a tougher defense from U32 than Windsor, but still 7 yards of carry throughout a game.
Yeah, and in the first 2 games of the season, kind of seemed to set the tone for other teams where they thought, the senior leadership in the backfield with Pat Connors was going to be the way to go. And then, as we're going to step into week 3 here, we can see that this turned a little bit, into Bazin's favor as he kind of, cemented himself as a pretty good back in the state of Vermont.
Yeah, one of the few games that we didn't actually cover this year, and you and I weren't at, because I know you went to Linden even though we didn't go. But while we weren't there, Bazin put up a show. He had 15 carries, 152 yards, four scores on the ground, also an 82-yard kickoff return.
Yeah, and even in this game, Lisa with the touchdown, James with the touchdown, Connors with 144 yards. Again, when you look at the average and the totals, they've gone up in the 3 weeks, right? You at this point with the amount of carries that these two have had, along with Steph James and along with Briar Barnett with some carries in the Windsor game early, and Leasai's, bootlegs and tush push carries, like you'd think the average would go down, but as we can see, like you're going from 7.5, 7.8 to 9.3 yards a carry.
400 yards of offense in this game. So Terriers are just chugging along at this point. Moving into week 4, big rivalry game. It's been a lopsided rivalry for a few years, but still a trophy game. Bells Falls versus Springfield. Bells Falls 49-6 win. 152 yards, 4 scores for Bazin, another 144 yards for Connors, Stephen James a touchdown, Declan Leasai a touchdown. So great game.
Yeah, another kick return for Bazin. Again, the defense, this is the first time we saw that bend, don't break kind of defense from the Terriers, right? We talked a lot this year about the pass defense being better for Bells Falls. Studley and Lockerbie and Lorendo and Sean Burke, these guys all making adjustments to make sure the pass defense was better.
Yeah.
Little bit exposed in this game, even though the score doesn't show it.
Yeah, the quick passing
Jasinski
game.
And Wilson kid did a good job at quarterback, and Jasinski did a nice job.
And this was the game where Connors made an unbelievable play to turn the momentum. If I remember correctly, it was a 2-score game. Springfield was driving down to the goal line. Connors picked the ball off at the goal line, brought it back 94 yards before he got tackled.
Yep.
And I think Briar Barnett ended up getting the touchdown there. So Springfield could have made it a 1-score game going into the halftime at that point. But Connors made a huge play.
And then they came right out in the second half. Their one touchdown was to Braden Wheeler with the long 70, 80-yard touchdown pass right off the bat. And, we kind of looked at each other and went, really not quite over yet. And then, Bells Falls put their foot down and kind of clamped it down. I don't think Springfield got a first down after that.
Yeah, and we did start seeing the good open field tackling that we kind of hit on throughout the season. This is where it kind of changed a little bit, and they started making those tackles. Saul James, Reed Hill, Brody Davignon, of course, Jaden Bazin back there. Those guys all started making those wraps after the catch.
Yeah,
Andrew Goyette as well.
Yeah, and the guy setting the edge, right? We haven't mentioned his name. This week 4, we've talked all offense. The reason why none of these other teams score is Connor Perry. Right. Brockton Lovell, Big Stevie in the middle, Steph James making tackles, Tostrup set the edge so many times and forcing guys back to the inside, which he's going to have to do tonight with the way that this Mount Abe team can run the ball too. So,
Tostrup and Connors have been fantastic on the outside this year, and that rotation at nose tackle of Ernst and Stevie Jocelyn's been fantastic. Lovell and Connor Perry have been unbelievable. Perry's made a lot of plays in the backfield, and Lovell's made a lot of plays as well, but he's also just taken up a lot of blockers.
Yeah.
They've used a lot of guys to keep him out of the backfield.
Yeah, and another name we haven't mentioned, we're starting week 5 here against Fairhaven is Briar Barnett.
Yeah.
Offense and defense of just one of those guys. We talked about him last week.
Huge interception.
Right on cue, unsung hero award for this guy. They don't give one out. 2 plays later, he gets a pick.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
absolutely.
So,
yeah, no, great all around start to the season so far. So let's move into week 6, a game you were at, Linden Institute, Bells Falls with 32-14 win. Goyette caught a touchdown pass in this game. Bazin ran for 3, 200 yards rushing, also threw a passing touchdown. So started to see a little more versatility out of the offense here, a few new niches as the season went along.
Yeah, this was a game where Patty kind of got rolled up on early in the game and had to go out, and Kissel stepped in on defense and made some great plays. And again, Bazin, got that 200 yards, plateau with 4 more touchdowns to add where his season was at that point. And
it's a very good Linden team.
Yeah, Linden's pretty tough. I'm pretty sure they're playing tonight somewhere.
Yeah.
They got a semifinal game themselves, so with an opportunity to make some noise. And but that's a good team. That was a good team and a good hard. That's a good team win for Bells Falls.
I remember watching that.
Saul James with an interception in that game.
Yeah.
First of a couple for him. So
first time they faced a deficit all season long. I believe it was 7-0. Linden got a stop the first time out, and then they went down and scored.
Yep.
Then Bells Falls kind of took over, and it was good to see them kind of respond to the adversity at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially on the road, first long road trip.
Really tough game, and that started the stretch of the senior games they had to go to. Linden had right. Seems like 20 seniors.
Right.
But that was the stretch that started that senior night, the emotion where every single game you go to, everybody's looking to give you your best shot
because it's their last game. So another senior night the following week, they traveled to Mount Mansfield. You and I did the game here in the studio, first game in the studio, 60-28 win. Most fun part for me of this game was when Declan Leasai opened up the 2-minute offense very before the half and went 6 for 6, threw 91 yards passing in this game, had a touchdown pass. It was fun to watch. Jake Tostrup had 3 catches for 53 yards. We talked about the unsung hero, but this time he actually got involved in the offense a little bit, so that was fun to watch. It was just kind of fun to see them open it up.
Yeah, again, we're into this week of the season that we're talking about with no losses, and this is still a point where Lisi and Tostrup's leadership, they're captains for a reason, right? And these guys, you know, to this point had done it all without worrying about getting their name in the paper, but setting the edge and doing the things. And Lisi commanding the huddle and having no fumbled snaps we saw until we got to that Woodstock game. And, you know, and the penalties, I think at this point too, right, Joe, this stretch of the season where week 4, 5, 6, 7, they really kind of minimize the penalties and the turnovers, which is why I think you see some of these big scores.
Yeah, they were very clean throughout this. Bazin had another 100-yard game. Connor's over 100 yards as well. Connor Perry with a touchdown. Stephen James with another touchdown. Andrew Gayette with a touchdown as well. 506 yards of total offense. So I think that's the season high. I don't think they quite got there with Woodstock.
No, yeah, it was probably close.
They were close. I think we're doing Woodstock now as we speak of it. So game of the year, Nate. You and I were there. Unreal.
Yeah. You know, as we've said before, and we take a lot of time to watch other games and watch film, and, you know, we invest a lot of time into this stuff to make sure but with Hartford and Burnburton and BFA and, you know, CVU and St. Johnsbury, all these other teams that I've seen play this year, you know, this game for Bells Falls to not get off the bus and to seemingly be at a point where you and I talked at halftime, like, hey, they're one touchdown away from having running time against them.
Right.
You know, and Jackson Fletcher comes out, makes a big hit. And the first touchdown we saw right in front of us when Jaden Bazin put his pad level down and ran 2 guys over, and we went, this baby's not over yet, right? And next thing you know, it turned into a double overtime. Just unbelievable high school football game with
play
both
after
teams.
play by playmaker.
Awesome.
As good as Basin's been, Emery was maybe the second best player I've seen this season.
Yeah, he was really good.
Player for Woodstock. I know 1,000 yards total offense in the game between the two schools, 112 points. These are wild numbers.
Oates probably the best quarterback we saw. Like, it was one of those things, I think, where Bells Falls kind of got in the second half too, where it was like, hey, listen, this kid's pretty good passer. He doesn't get out of the pocket a lot. So Tostrup's pressure from the outside, Connor Perry's pressure from the outside, you know, but, you know, we looked at that as the first time as like, you know, Bells Falls, get yourself off the bus and make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Turn the ball over, penalties. But the game started with 2 out of the first 3 plays, Bazin to the house, fumbled snap, Connors to the house, and you know, and Woodstock matched it, and you know, we were off to the races. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a great game. Still can't believe you wore shorts in the back of that truck all night.
Yeah, I didn't regret it until after the second overtime. You know, you lose that game and you're not as cold.
Right.
I mean, you're colder, right? You're colder when you lose those games, but you know, it was just unbelievable that, again, that's a game where Will took time out of his own schedule to bring his daughter to the field, and in the rain and bad internet and everything else we had going on. And, you know, just kudos to these guys who have given us this opportunity to do these, because without those guys, you know, you and I would have been sitting at home and not watching it on anything else because it wasn't on TV. So
we've been extremely lucky this year. So the final game we'll recap is the last game from last week, 46-0 quarterfinal win over Mill River. Not much else you can say. Bells Falls came out, did exactly what they had to do in the rain.
Yeah, again, the first half, you and I were sitting here and we're looking at each other, and you know, we're kind of rolling our eyes, going, where's the Bells Falls offense? And you know, I did have a chance to just chat with, you know, text message with Coach Empey, who's awesome. Been an outstanding line coach around the state for a long time. And, you know, we kind of, you know, when I threw the thoughts out, like you and I've talked about, where, you know, James isn't getting to the second level. Tostrup's not getting to that second level. Yeah. The big boys up front need that 5-6 yard push, you know, and, you know, like he said, you know, when you're used to throwing guys around, and then when people punch back, you know, you got to be able to dig your heels in. And in the second halves of those 2 last games, they really did.
Yeah.
They better not do that tonight,
right?
You know, because I think this Mount Abe team coming in here is going to be ready to play.
Yeah, I feel they play the same style as Bells Falls. So wrapping up the Mill River game, we had touchdowns by Bazin, 2 by Connors. Carter Harper found the touchdown. Declan Lisi and Connor Perry each scored. Pat Connors found a 22-yard fumble return. So I think that's pretty much going to wrap up our recap now as we get close to the start of the game here. Looking on the field, I don't know if we're quite to the national anthem yet, but let's start talking about this week's game, Nate.
Yeah, I had a opportunity real quick because I know we're time crunch here, but all the coaches this year that you and I have an opportunity to talk to, back to the beginning of the year with, Jamie Richardson from Windsor, and Coach Aiken, and coaches from Mount Mansfield, and every other school we've reached out to have been so awesome with us and giving us some feedback. And I had an opportunity after basketball practice last night to talk to Jeff Stein, the coach from Mount Abe, and what a great guy. I mean, giving up some time, his own personal time for 7:30 at night, and to talk about his team and where they're at and what they plan to do tonight with Crary and Gagnon and Russell as their captains, and the plethora of assistant coaches that have been with this program since they were 8-man football back in 2003. And
which is wild.
These guys are going to be ready to go tonight. And you talked about it, smash mouth on both sides of the ball. We're looking forward to what could be a beauty tonight, Joe.
Yeah, it looks like they're a physical team, just like Bellows Falls. You mentioned Gagnon, you mentioned Crary. It seems like they do a lot of their work inside the tackle box. So we're going to expect big games out of those big guys up front: Jocelyn, Lovell, Connor Perry, Stephen James, and Briar Barnett. And that second level are going to be expected to make some tackles and not let those guys get into the secondary.
Yeah,
it's going to be key.
Yeah, we've talked about it, a lot since the middle of the season. The Fairhaven game, when really it felt to me like when Reed Hill made that play in the middle of the field, stopped them. Fairhaven goes for the hard count on fourth down, ends up with a punt. It kind of swung everything, right? From that point until the first half of that Woodstock game, the tackling had been outstanding, right? First guy makes a hit. We're wrapping up. They're making tackles.
A 7-yard play was a 7-yard play.
Yeah, they've gotten away from that a little bit the last couple of weeks, and it's going to be essential against Crary and Gagnon tonight for those guys. The first guy to hit and make the, at least hold on to him for the swarm of, Purple Gang to get in there and make the tackles, because if these 3-yard carries turn into 7-yard carries, and we talk about down and distance all the time, Joe, this is the same MO, right? If Bellows Falls can be 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, and this is what, Coach Stein talked to me about last night, down and distance is going to be huge for them.
Yeah, it takes Mount Abe out of their game plan if they got to throw the ball, because just like Bellows Falls, Coach mentioned it to you, they haven't had to throw the ball in many of their games due to the scores situation.
Yeah.
I didn't see any common opponents other than Springfield last week, so I don't have a whole lot to go by here on what Mount Abe's done. And there wasn't a lot of game film either, but I did see the game against Pulteney, and it really is just a lot of inside the tackle stuff for us.
Yeah, it is. What really struck me last week is, or talking to Coach Stein real quick before the national anthem, was penalties and turnovers will cause problems for every team. We talk about Bellows Falls all the time.
Yep. All right. We'll pause now for the national anthem.
Let's just say I was able to carry to the truck. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bellows Falls Union High School and Hadley Memorial Field for the site of tonight's Division III semifinal game between the Terriers and the Eagles of Mount Abraham High School. Bellows Falls and Mount Abraham remind participants and spectators of the requirements to behave in a respectful manner. Sportsmanship and safe playing environments are the top priorities for all Vermont school-sponsored activities. This is especially true with respect to a person's race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, national origin, ethnic differences, disability, citizenship, and immigration status. Any violation on the field or in the stands can result in a game stoppage, ejections, or forfeits. For the full statement, use the QR code on the roster sheet in today's contest. Let's work together to ensure a positive, supportive, and healthy learning environment for everyone involved and have a great game. Good luck to both teams. Before we kick things off tonight, we'd like to take a moment to recognize the senior members of the Bellows Falls Union High School pep band. These students have brought spirit, leadership, and music to our games, pep rallies, and our school community throughout their years at BFUHS. As we call your names, seniors, please give a wave so our fans can thank you for all you've given to the program. Nico James Arolona, percussion. Nico Claude Arolino, percussion. Alpha Wilson, percussion. Anthony Marquis, percussion. And Gwendolyn Dial, piccolo. We are grateful for your dedication, your energy, and the example you set for the next generation of Terrier musicians. Let's have a round of applause for our pep band seniors. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise and remove your hats as Miss Julie Sermola sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glow, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow, what a beautiful job by Julie Sermola. Thank you very much. That was beautiful.
All right, and I think we're back, Nate. So I'm going to go ahead. Good evening and welcome to Fact TV's coverage of the BPA Division III semifinal playoff game. Tonight we are at Hadley Field on the campus of Bellows Falls Union High School. Please remember that Fact TV is here for the community. Whether it's a show you'd like to produce or equipment needed for some video project you have, Fact TV is to support the needs of the community. Tonight's game features 8-1 second seed Bellows Falls Terriers and the 8-1 third seeded Eagles of Mount Abraham. Bellows Falls advanced to the semifinals with a 46-0 victory over Mill River, while the Eagles advanced with a 26-0 victory over the Cosmos. Nate, what are we looking for tonight?
Yeah, Joe, like we talked about just a couple minutes ago, I think this is just going to be one of those knockdown, drag out kind of, turn the ball over, don't have penalties. Who's going to make the least amount of mistakes? And we got big, good offensive lines, good athletic players on both sides. And this just seems to be one of those really good. This is why we're 8-1 in the semifinal kind of games, and we're excited for it.
Another one of these formations where Basin's up kind of in the up man position here with Davignon and Connor's deep. So we'll see what happens with this little squib kick here. This has definitely been the strategy of teams lately, keeping it away from Basin on the kickoff. Davignon picks it up. He's going to pick up 3 or 4 yards on the play here.
Yeah, and to go with those kickoffs, dude, it's rained for the last 3 weeks. So every single kickoff we've had to start these games has all been full of, just wet kind of field. Yeah.
So Terry will start off 1st and 10 here. Going to be at the 30-yard line.
Number 12, Declan Leaside will be calling.
Yeah, we got some rain coming down here at Hadley Field, and they're going to go this slot right formation. This off tackle probably to Basin, as we've seen several times.
Lisa under center with James in the fullback position, Basin deep, Connor's in the slot back position. It's going to be a quick handoff. Stephen James up the middle. He's going to pick up about 2 yards.
Yeah, we saw the Terriers sneak some of these in last week against Mill River, and it worked really well. James had probably about 7 or 8 yards to carry.
He did.
Probably his most yards all season long.
He had a great game. I think it was about 30, 35 yards.
Yeah.
One big one down the sideline there. So 2nd and 8 for the Terriers. Lisa under center, same slot right position here. Toss strip on the left side with Cam Perry and Ben Rumrell. Stevie Joslin's in center. Brockton Lovell and Rylan Ernst make up the right side of the offensive line. Here's that quick hitter right side to Jaden Basin. Good push forward after immediate contact back there. See here.
Number 32 again.
Looks like number 32. First contact. That's Cole Gagnon, one of their better players on offense as well.
Yeah, all-around leader for that team, as Coach Stein mentioned. He's just one of those do-it-all kind of guys. And even on that first run by Basin there, Steph James kind of getting stood up. We talked about this in the pregame, Joe. He's got to get downfield and get to that second level.
3rd and 4 here, ball on the 36-yard line for the Terriers. Lisa under center. Going to be the quick hitter to Pat Connors. Pat Connors going to pick up the first down a little bit more here. Going to put down the sideline and pick up the 40-yard line of the Terriers now. So that's a big run there of 24 yards for Pat Connors.
Yeah, and it looks like the defensive end, outside linebacker for Mount Abe kind of got sucked up the field with the little bit of fake from Lee's side of Basin there, held him off just long enough. Even though it forced Connors back inside, he's able to use his speed and get that nice burst up the field for about 25 yards.
Great push there by the right side of the offensive line with Rylan Ernst and Brockton Lovell, completing some room for Connors. We got the stacked triple I here. Goes to the deep back, Basin. Basin's going to take it off the right side. He's looking to get to the pay dirt, and he's going to hit the house call right there. That's going to be a 40-yard touchdown run for Jaden Basin.
Yeah, what's that? Again, we had a little audio trouble there to start today but Nick Leaside providing all these awesome stats for us all season long, and this puts Basin in a pretty rare territory here with his 27th rushing touchdown of the season, Joe.
27th rushing touchdown. That puts him up over 1,700 yards in the season now.
Yeah, so but again, here comes this
conversion here. Basin's got someone grabbing hold of him. I'm not sure he was able to get through.
Yeah, those 2-point conversions have been kind of a Achilles heel for the Terriers.
So number 21 for the Eagles there, stopping Basin. A lot of the direct snap on the 2-point conversions for the Terriers.
Yeah, and it's again, we've had a couple of games where great job with the 2-point conversions. The Linden game, they converted on their touchdowns, but we've seen some games this year that the Terriers have kind of struggled with some of those. Yep. And, we, in a game like this, even though that was a quick touchdown, it can come down to the 2 points at the end, and you've got to have those. And we can see right now, Coach Lockerbie, again, I don't blame him for being frustrated, right? You've got to have those kind of plays to
It
be
sets a
made.
tone early.
Yeah, it does.
You know, you finish that, you want to finish that out. Finish that score out as an impressive first drive, couple big plays, big first down after a couple slower yards. Great drive, but you got to clean that up.
And you know, just what I think Coach Stein didn't want to have happen with his squad is Connors for 35 yards, 30 yards, Bays into the house for 40. Like,
Yeah.
it's demoralizing sometimes. I know it's early, but it's tough.
Stevie Joslin with the boot for the Terriers. Going to get down, caught by the 10-yard line. That's number 12. That's Chase Wright. He's going to be tackled at about the 12-yard line.
Colton Colburn, again, we didn't get a chance to talk too much about the seniors, which we will try to get to. Like, this
17.
kid doesn't get his name in the paper ever. He plays with the second squad a lot when we've seen them out there offensively and defensively, but on special teams, Colton Colburn has been outstanding all year for the Terriers.
That's the 6th or 7th tackle I've seen him make on kickoffs this year.
Yeah, he's made a bunch of them, and he's also forced guys back to, you know, Connor Perry, who's come down and, you know, taken people's lunch money several times on those kickoffs.
Another great kick by Steve Joslin. He's been an absolute weapon back there as the kicker for this team. So we're going to have number 0, Clark Cray, in the backfield here. Number 32, Clark Gagnon with the carry. He's going to be met immediately, but he breaks through the tackle there, it looks like.
Yeah, with the weather, maybe a little bit as it is, but I like, you know, Coach Stein with Crary and Gagnon, as he said, you know, will be the kind of the go-to guys, but 4 wide receivers, spread the Terriers out, make those linebackers get out of the middle of the field. You know, Barnett now in coverage, Connors in coverage, Bazin in coverage, you know, leaving Tostrup and Stevie James there, Stephen James in the middle of the field to have to make these tackles, got to wrap up.
Absolutely. Crary in the backfield, little pistol formation, Gagnon to his right. Little motion there for the Eagles. Going to be a quick snap to the pistol. He's looking to get rid of it. He's now going to tuck it and run, met by a series of Terriers. First there on the tackle. Looks like Briar Barnett was the first one in there.
Yeah, and this is, you know, one of those things where spreading the Terriers out, right? We talked to
Briar Barnett.
You know, Mount Abraham, the Eagles haven't thrown a ton of passes this year. They can. We you know, Coach Stein said that, you know, it's not something we've had to do a ton of because of the scores of our games, but, you know, he knows that he can trust Prairie to get the ball out to the guys that he needs to. You know, Chase Wright, Ryan Wright, these guys that he trusts to make catches for him.
Quick 5 yards for Crary there. Going to be 3rd and 3. Quick tackle. That's Connor Perry shooting the gap, I believe. Yeah, absolutely. Connor Perry immediately right there. Clark Gagnon, that's a loss of 5 yards, 4 yards.
On 3rd down, too, right? That was a 3rd and 3 big play. In the down and distance. This is where that kickoff from Stevie Joslin comes in huge, right? All the way down to the 9-yard line. You don't get a big return because of the tackle from Colburn, and now you're forcing a punt. And this first half already in 4 minutes, Joe, has been better than the last 2 combined.
Absolutely. We've seen some fire come out of this team. A high snap, handled by the punter for the Eagles there. He gets a nice punt down, rolls down to the 48-yard line. Terriers will start on the side of the 48-yard line, just beyond 50 yards.
Yeah, it's again, you hate to say huge series early in games like this because anything can happen. You know, as we saw with the Bells Falls Woodstock game, and this Eagles team is an 8-1 for no reason.
Right.
You know, in my messaging with Coach Empey, you know, one of the things he said is this team's never going to quit. And, you know, I agree with him. And this is also where you need that methodical drive and get you that touchdown.
Starting off on the Bells Falls 48-yard line, Declan Lisai. He's got the power I formation left here with Pat Connors in the power formation. Here's that quick hitter right. He's going to pick up a few yards there at the right side. Brockton Lovell and Jacob Tostrup creating a little bit of a gap there for him.
Yeah, and we get to see this replay again thanks to, you know, to Will and the crew for this. That little push, but, you know, Connors hits that hole, hits Bazin in the back and pushes him, and Bazin pushes that second level group for 2 more yards, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a gain of 2, it's a gain of 4, maybe closer to 5, right?
Pushing up 2nd down and 6 here. On the Mount Abraham 48-yard line. Lee under center. Power eye right, going to be a quick handoff to Connors. That 23 there, that's Logan Stern on the quick wrap up for the Eagles.
Yep, down and distance okay for the Terriers, all right. You're that 3rd and 5 manageable situation. Again, you know, where you kind of you're on the other side of the field. So even if this is a gain of 1 or 2, whether it's James or you know Basin or Connors, it's 2 yards. You're already in position to go for it. And this is not, you know, you don't have to worry about punting the ball.
Yards still for Jaden Basin. Second touchdown of the game there, brings him up to 28 of the season. Falls in front. A big clear out here blocked by Pat Connors and Stephen James to clear the way for him there.
Yeah, Joe, those are the guys we've been talking about, right? Hit that second level and get those safeties and defensive backs and secondary guys out of there. Goyette on the edge, again, setting the tone. I mean, that's what Bells Falls has been missing in the last couple of weeks.
Looking for the 2-point conversion. Lisa is going to roll out. He's going to flip it out here to Pat Connors for 2 points. 14-0 Bells Falls. Sharp, Nate, to start this game.
Looking really good. Great throw here by Lisa. I feel like this 2-point conversion must have coaches having nightmares, because I feel like we've seen this 2-point conversion throw from Lisa to Connors probably 25 times this year.
They've run a few of them to Stephen James, almost the same play too.
Yeah, and you know, this is the perfect start, right? You couldn't have asked for anything better for the Bells Falls with, like I said, the last 2 weeks, 4 quarters, first halves, really unproductive, and the fire is what we've seen out of them for the first 7 games fully of the whole season, and very impressive.
Very impressive start. Very physical by the offensive line, getting to that second level. It was really nice right there to see Connors and James out on the edge, just clearing it out, and Basin splitting guys.
Yeah, those are the guys we've been saying, man. We got it. You mentioned those. Again, the Hogs are doing their job up front. Lovell and Joslin and everything, but it's those guys cleaning out. Tostrip cleaning his guy out of there.
Joslin with a boot here. That one's going to get down to the
What a great kick.
2-yard line before it's picked up. Here's Colton Colburn. Can't quite get him. Number 55, Garrett Haskell, is going to make the tackle down there about the 9. I do see a flag down, though.
Yeah, on that backside there, we get a chance to see it on this replay here. Wouldn't be surprised if this is holding on the Eagles, just in that general area where, you know, it's on the backside of the play a little bit.
Great hit by Haskell there.
I don't see what the referee's throwing his flag on there, but
it looks like they're going to back him up. So you must be right, Nate.
Yeah, we got it. It's, you know, trying to make something out of nothing there, and I don't, you know, that's one of those penalties you don't want to have, but you don't blame somebody like, hey man, this thing's on the 2-yard line. We've already seen this the first series, and we didn't do a ton of it, but you've got to think with the way that we've seen, you know, in Prairie run the ball, that, you know, again, this could be a house call the other way. Terrier's got to make plays.
So 1st and 10 for the Eagles here on about the 4-yard line. Prairie back to throw, got nowhere to go. He's going to tuck it and run. Going to pick up no gain. It's going to be number 30, Connor Perry, on the tackle.
Good pursuit by Bells Falls, keeping him in the pocket. No chance to get outside. So even when he does get out of the pocket, he's forced to go back into the wash, into the middle, to where the linebackers are. And Ernst and Lovell are coming back to the ball. And, you know, that's what you want to have. And, you know, Prairie looking around right there, didn't see a lot. Good coverage by Goyette. Good coverage by James on the backside.
A lot of early energy out of Connor Perry on the defensive side of the ball so far.
Yeah, it's his last time on Hadley Field. You expected a lot.
2nd and 10 here. Prairie's going to be back in the pistol. Gagnon deep on him. Prairie looking to throw again. Gets the ball out here quick. Going to be incomplete. Looking for number 15, Dakota Safford. Going to bring up a 3rd and 10 here.
A good job by Pat Connors on the blitz on the outside. Doesn't need to hit the quarterback. Doesn't need to do anything spectacular. Gets his hands up. Makes enough of a play. Connor Perry coming in from the other side to get put pressure on, you know, Prairie's backside, and it's
forced to throw.
Pretty impressive job so far for the Terriers up front, getting some pressure on the quarterback.
Yep. Terriers come up here 3rd and 10, deep in their own end here. The Eagles coming up with a 3rd and 10. 4-yard line. Crary deep in the pistol here with Gagnon behind him. Gonna take the snap. It almost looks like a little bit of a busted play there. He's gonna pick up a couple of yards. Connor Perry holds on. Briar Barnett finishes wrapping up. Been a lot of Connor Perry and Briar Barnett so far.
Yeah, good team tackling by Bells Falls. One of the things that they kind of lost sight of in the middle of the season, or we talked about that Fairhaven game where it really was awesome. Hit and wrap, first guy wrap, hold them up, and then the gang of the purple gang coming in to swoop in and make that play.
So the Eagles be forced to punt here again. Definitely going to be a big defensive moment for them here. Going to be a punt to Bazin. Bazin, does everyone get away from it? Good punt. Going to get down to the 41-yard line where the Terrors will take over on the Eagles 21, or 40, sorry.
Yeah, big defensive series, right? Again, nothing's won or lost here in the first quarter, Joe, but being a coach who's around kids, and when you get down 15, 20, 30 points, I don't care what sport it is, it's a lot.
It's tough.
And it's emotional and it's hectic, and especially when you're in this situation, like, hey, we're going to come in and compete. Next thing you know, before you can blink, it's 22, 23 nothing.
Right. So Desai will take over under center. 1st and 10, 41-yard line here for the Terriers. Slot right position for Connors in motion. Bazin deep with Stephen James directly behind Lisa. Going to go here, left guard. Bazin's going to slip and fall. Going to pick up a yard or so. Tackled by number 69 for the Abrahams.
Yeah, the field conditions, I've seen a little less slipping out of the Terriers tonight. I had actually a chance to talk to Jaden's dad a little bit and asked about the cleat situation, and he's like, don't worry, we got him some new ones a couple of weeks ago. So, that's not an issue for the Terriers, backs by any means. Connors, same thing. These guys are ready.
2nd and 9 here for the Terriers. Lisa under center, power left formation. Connors is the power back. Lisa's going to give it to Connors up the left guard, left tackle hole there created by Cam Perry and Ben Rumrell. Nice pickup there. He's not going to quite get the first down. I think he's got about 8 yards on that. Going to set up a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2.
Good push. That's what you want, right? We're now in that manageable down and distance again, regardless of what happens here. Again, we have said the line in Connors and Bazin as he's gone to the house twice already. Offensive line has looked really tough out of the gate. Lisai, again, just looking sharp and crisp with his leadership under center, and it's been a great start.
And we've talked about the web ball here, what I mean? A lot of what they do is having to have Lisai have some deceit on his handoff, so he has a lot of good handwork in there to maintain the ball and stuff during this one.
Yeah, it looked like a little jump there from the Eagles. Maybe didn't quite get in the neutral zone.
No, looks like they were sold a little bit,
Yeah, 69 down here at this
Bazin
end.
picks up maybe 2.
69 down here definitely appeared to be in the neutral zone.
Yep, 2 yards for Bazin.
But, I think the Terriers were counting on getting that
so.
flag on that play. But, this is more than manageable for the Terriers.
4th and 1 for the Terriers. Lisa under center. Stephen James directly behind him. Connors in the slot right with Bazin deep. Going to go right to Stephen James. James gets a good push right there behind Jocelyn and Ben Rumrell. Looks like he's going to have enough for the first down.
Yeah, just passing line. We'll move the chains for the Terriers to keep this clock moving here in the first one.
Should be up to the 29-yard line. Terriers. Yep, 29-yard line. Just past there. First down for Stephen James. Couple early carries for Stephen.
Yeah, and I know you don't want to get away from what works and what you've done. At some point in this first half, especially with a touchdown here, I'd love.
Pitch out to the right to Jaden Bazin on 1st and 10 here. Bazin makes a couple guys miss, gets to the outside, picks up a couple yards. He's going to get down to about the 25, so 4 yards for Bazin.
Yeah, I was going to say before this toss sweep to Bazin here that I know you don't want to go away from what you're used to doing and what you've done, but that wheel route play that we've seen Bells Falls run to Pat Connors a few times just seems to be really enticing for me sitting in the studio where I'm warm and not in the rain or cold. Thank you, Will, for doing that for us tonight.
Yeah, good guy out there. So Declan Leaside, 2nd and 5 here, so 5 yards on that 1st-yard carry for Bazin. He's going to hand it back to Connors on the counter. Connors gets up to, about the 14-yard line? No, 20-yard line, 21-yard line.
Yeah, good kick out block right here by
Watching
Lovell.
Lovell, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
pulls and gets his guy out of
Oh, he
there. And
pounds him right to the ground.
Yeah.
Great job taking him all the way to ground. What a way to finish the block there.
that's the good speed and IQ from the Bells Falls offensive line, right? I mean, high school kids should be able to pull, but the size of Brockton Lovell to get down the line and pancake that guy to the ground again makes that kid less want to come up
Right.
and make those hits as the game goes on.
And that's, I know, something they coach hard is to finish those blocks. And Lovell absolutely 100% did that. So here's Bays, and he's going to take it off the left side, left tackle, between Rumroll and Ernst there. He's going to have another score. So it's going to be 22-yard touchdown for Jaden Bazin, his third score of the first quarter. Puts it 20-0 with the extra point to come up.
This is imposing your will. I again, for the Bells Falls team and coaching staff, right? You almost, when this minute 7 seconds goes away, Joe, you can let that deep breath out.
Right.
A
lot of questions are being answered in this game. They're coming out ready to play. They're fired up. Lee's going to roll out here. He's going to throw another 2-point conversion. That's going to be Jacob Tostrup on the 2-point catch there. Another great throw. Another great presence to Declan Leeside. Little play action pass here. Sells it really good. Sets the feet. And throws a good ball.
Yeah, that's a nice play. I mean, I love the fact that he threw it to the his co-captain there. Patty wide open in the flat, but hey, squeeze it into Toss. Again, not a kid that's going to put his name in the paper too many times, but man, there's a reason why Toss made the North-South game, right? We talk about him all season long. The offensive blocking, the in the huddle, the out of the huddle. I think one of the things I look at with Jake Tostrup is even him and Steph James as being seniors, right?
Yeah.
Go to the field hockey game last week. First goal by Veronica Moore, tarps off. It's 30 degrees at the field. These guys are going no shirts, right? these guys are made for this kind of stuff, and it's fun.
Absolutely wild. Yeah, great kids, great team. Great start to the game. Great to see the Terriers trying to respond to what's been their nemesis the last couple of weeks.
Yes, it hasn't been pretty, but this has been really good.
Steve Joslin with another nice kickoff here. Going to get fielded down at about the 15-yard line. Out to the 25, 30-yard line here before he gets pushed back. Good push by 56. That's Rumroll, right?
Yeah, and again, all of these plays, Timmy Fletcher's in there, making some nice plays
Jacob
on special teams.
right there, too. Brian Barnett.
16.
You got Reed Hill in there making a nice play, too.
Yeah, this is
They're all there.
Yeah, this is
that gang tackling we saw at the beginning of the season, Nate.
Yeah, this was the Bells Falls team Coach Stein was hoping not to see come out in the first half, right? This has been one of the more impressive quarters. This reminds me of that third quarter of the Woodstock.
Yeah.
They kind of put their foot down and said, not today.
Yeah, I mean, right now, based on what I've got for numbers right here, they've got about 3 yards in their first 2 drops.
Yeah. In the field position, great job by Stevie Johnson, that kicking game.
So they'll take over on the 30-yard line here. It's going to be gagged, and he's going to be met immediately by Stephen James in the backfield for the cleanup by Pat Connors. Maybe a yard. I don't think so, though.
James makes the initial hit. Hold. Connors with the finish. Yeah. This is Terrier football. This was the first 7 games of the season.
What a great wrap. What a great initial contact by Stephen James. He's been all over the place so far.
Yeah, and again, other guys still getting off the ball. Lovell and Perry still lurking in the back behind, and This is the team football. If you're wearing purple tonight, whether you're in the crowd or in the studio with us on the sideline, this is what you're hoping for.
Absolutely. We got 2nd and 10 here with 20 seconds to go. First quarter winds down. Prairie takes the snap, looking to get rid of it. He's going to be sacked right immediately in the backfield. That's number 30, Perry with the sack.
The do-it-all guy, right? We started calling him the glass heater earlier in the year just because he doesn't really care. I mean, he'll do it all. He'll do what it takes. Every single down, every single play, and again,
9-yard loss.
Again, he's one of those guys where you can't put every senior in the North-South game, but man, I tell you what, this kid is all of that. Shrine, whatever you want to put him in, I'm voting for Connor Perry.
First quarter, 2 tackles for loss plus a sack,
and backside pressure on plays that Prairie's been able to sneak out down at the goal line down there. So I've said it 3 times already. This is about picture perfect minus the first 2-point conversion blunder for the Terriers. You couldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah, on my unofficial stats now after that 9-yard loss, that was a negative yardage quarter for the Eagles.
And not what you want. Again, the kicking game by Stevie does. We mentioned a ton this year, but the leg down to the 10, down to the 2. The last time, I think Gagnon or Crary was trying to hope it went in the end zone.
Right.
And it's like, man, you just didn't get enough to get it there, and then you put yourself in a position where you get that holding penalty and it goes back to the 2-yard line, and
you're starting with against nothing.
Yeah, even a punt gets you only to the 35, 40-yard line. So the field position has more than favored the Terriers.
Absolutely. With a 3rd and 19 here, the Eagles are certainly out of their comfort zone with down and distance. They've had to throw the ball a little more, try to throw the ball a little more than I think they wanted to so far. So the Terriers are really just kind of setting this game up the way they want. 3rd and 19 here for the Eagles to start the second quarter. Crary back to throw. He's going to sling it up the right side. That's going to be intercepted by the Terriers. That's number 3, Jaden Mason. No, that's Andrew Goyette. He's going to take it to the great interception by Goyette.
And that was a good read. We saw for the Eagles on that same kind of wheel route Pat Connors runs, right? And Goyette was sitting there waiting for it. Bazin was over the top with coverage. They had underneath. Great. Looked like a zone concept from the Terriers there. Coach Suley sprinkling something in. Nice work.
We've seen Goyette have a lot of great coverage streaks down the sideline.
And it's nice to see him catch one. Yeah.
And this time he snagged that one, jumped, and just took off. Looked like he knew what he was doing with the ball. Great play by Goyette.
Yeah, he's been right in that area the whole season.
So Lisa under center here, 1st and 10. Ball starts at the 3-yard line for the Terriers. Going to give it quickly to Pat Connors, who's going to go in for the house call. Pat Connors goes in for the score. Terriers up 28-0 right now.
Yeah, it's all Terriers so far today, and it's, again, being a coach and being on both sides of this before, Joe, it's hard for Coach Stein, right, and that staff. Like, guys, let's go. We still got a chance. We still got a chance, and it's tough.
Lisa under center for the 2-point try. He's going to roll out with the option here. It's Jaden Bazin who's going to go on for the 2. The Terriers up 30-0. So far, 1 failed 2-point conversion, 3 for 4 on the 2-point tries. So they've cleaned that up a lot since that first one. You've hit on it a lot so far, Nate. This might be the cleanest game I've seen so far from the Terriers.
Yeah, as
we say that,
we got a penalty on probably a hold on the 2-point conversion here, maybe, but
there's
regardless,
broadcaster jinx, Nate.
Yeah, regardless, it's just been, again, running out of things to say with how unproductive the first and second quarter for the last 2 games have been compared to today. And as you progress there in this game, if this continues to go this way, that winner of the Woodstock Otter Valley game is going to have their hands full.
Lisa back to throw for the 2-point try. He's going to get it onto the hands of, I think that's Pat Connors, but quite haul it in.
Yeah, looked to me too like Lisa took a good shot for the first time this year in the pocket.
Hit by number 23 there. Good hit delivered by Logan Stearns. Yeah, Connors was able to get a hand on it, but not both. Just a little out of reach. So after I opened my mouth and talked about the cleanness, the penalty takes 2 points off the board, and that'll teach me to talk about a no-hitter or the free throw, never missing free throws, My bad.
Yeah, hey, but it's, again, just every aspect besides the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
But that's been a little Achilles heel for them all season long.
It has.
And you can see it still frustrates Lorendo and the staff on the sideline because you want to try to be perfect. You want to try to make these plays all the time. But hey, 28-0 with 11:46 to go in the second quarter. You don't got a lot to really chirp about over there.
Exactly. And now one of the things I look forward to most is Steve Joslin's kickoffs, man. This has been a joy to watch this kid kick all year long, whether it's been squib kicks or booting it deep. He's an absolute weapon, and it's been a joy. Nice little squib kick there, but the Eagles are going to recover that one. We're going to start over on the 44-yard line.
Yeah, the best starting field position for the Eagles. Maybe it switches the playbook up a little bit here.
On their own 44.
The offensive line for the Mount Abraham Eagles has got to get some push up front a little bit. They've got to get to the second level, which we talked about Bells Falls having to do. And at this point, like, something's better than nothing, right? Give me some productive yardage. Give me that first down, break the ice.
Yeah, right now they've just had a hard time with the strength of Ernst, Lovell, Joslin, and then the quickness of Connor Perry, who's in there with another, trips him up again before it's Rylan Ernst finishing up the tackle there, but he was in the backfield again.
Yeah, we see this replay, and 5 Terriers are behind the line of scrimmage. That's not anything that whoever is in the booth for the Eagles like can see this, and it's just frustrating, and it's hard because without that blocking up front, there's not a lot you can do. And I know standing up in that booth like I've done for the Wildcats a couple of years previous, like it's really tough when coaches, hey, what adjustment can we make? How about you block somebody? Right.
And 2nd and 10 here for the Eagles. It's going to be Crary in the pistol. Got Gagnon behind him. Crary's going to roll out to the right here. Good pressure by Rylan Ernst. You're going to throw on the run. It's going to be thrown away. Good coverage by Jaden Bazin. Good pressure by Rylan Ernst. Just more good pressure here.
And James with the play on this one, right? Don't over pursue.
Yeah.
Don't look for the hero play. Patty Connors did it on 1 down earlier in the end zone. You don't need to go and attack the quarterback. Steph James did a nice job right there. Hey, I'm going to contain. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to break down. And if he tries to run to the outside, I'm going to force him to the sideline and get him out of bounds for 5, 6, 7 yard gain instead of a 20-yard gain if he goes full steam and blows by him and misses a play. Because, again, it looked like the Terriers may have done some zone coverage and Goyette underneath and Bazin over the top on the receiver.
Definitely some different looks from the defense here today. So Crary under center here for the 3rd and 10 play. Going to be a little broken play here. There's going to be Stephen James getting a hold of him for a big loss.
Yeah, it's again your 3-4 guys, Tostrup, Garrett Haskell, who for the second time we said his name tonight. Garrett Haskell's had a lot of pressures on quarterbacks this year. Again, not a kid that's had his name in the paper a ton, but you and I talked about at the end of the Woodstock game, pressure on the quarterback, hit on the quarterback, pressure on the quarterback. Garrett Haskell is just another one of those kids, again, in the backfield on that play.
Another 9-yard loss, going to bring up 4th and 19. The Eagles punt again. He's got Bazin deep. He's going to get away from this one. Another good punt from the Eagles. Hitting the Terriers deep at about the 25-yard line to start. Boy, that defense, Nate, this is something else.
And it was much needed, not if you're a Eagles fan, you were hoping to kind of see a little bit of this struggle that they've had in the first half, and it's just not there tonight. And as we see with 10:08 to go, 28-0 lead, Goyette comes to the sideline, Kissel subs in. This is that 2 tight end package we've seen
a lot
the little
lately,
bit the last couple of weeks, and you don't need to run with a split end out there if you can block the way these guys are so far today.
Triple I formation here. We're gonna have a little motion as Stephen James and Patty
sweep the Bazin here.
It's been that tough sweep a lot here. Get out there with that left side of the line, right side of the line. There's Ernst and Lovell, good pushes down the field, and Basin's going to pick up good yardage on the first down carry.
Yeah, good. Again, you look at another 10, 11 yards
There's
here.
Ernst downfield, 5 yards, Lovell 5 yards, both finishing their blocks great.
Yeah, good. The 10, 11, 12 yards from Basin right there. That's again one of those times where he loves to establish pad level. And he does it, and he's one of the best we've seen all season long.
Absolutely.
I don't care what team you play for. I would have loved to see Bazin get to the outside and get that 80-yard TD, though.
1st and 10 after a 12-yard gain by Bazin, brings it to 37-yard line. Here's that fancy handwork we've seen from Leasai all year. Great trick, great job making all the fakes that he needed to make. Basket's knocked away, but boy, I tell you what, with what they ask him to do, it's really good how he hasn't mishandled any of that.
An interception or two all in the season, if that.
One.
Yeah, he's managed it really well with a team that doesn't have to throw the ball a ton, but he's also made some great throws. The Linden game, he had a really great he had a couple of really nice throws late in that game to Tostrup, and Declan's done just
Nathan's going to try to run up the left side there. He's going to be met with some resistance for the first time in a bit. So good physical tackle there by the Eagles.
First time out of the shotgun for the Terriers tonight. So,
number 65, Shane Russell in there for the Eagles.
Yeah, captain that Coach Stein really loves, leader on the field, in the locker room. He loves Russell, and he said he's been a staple for this Eagles team all season long. But 2 plays in a row, we had the pass to James in the shotgun formation there. So Lockerbie trying to pitch it up with a big lead early in the game.
3rd and 10, they're going to pitch it out here to Basin on the right side. Bason's going to make a couple guys miss, but he's not going to get there. 21 for the Eagles. He's out there to make the stop.
Yeah, so you get a couple back. With the score that you have, the lead that you have, you're at whatever you want to do, right?
Right.
We can't, from in the studio, is this so 4th and 5? Hey, hard count, timeout, hard count. Take the 5 yards, punt it, take the field position, swing. Your defense has been outstanding.
They do bring the offense out here for the
you hard counter, you toss it to one of the big guys and see what happens.
You got Pat Connors in motion in the slot position.
That's that little wheel route by Connors we've been talking about.
We've been talking about it. Just overthrown by a little bit. He had him again.
That's that
play. There, it was absolutely there.
Man, that's that play. At least I hasn't had too many of these balls that have been overthrown all season long. But
maybe a little excited.
Yeah, Patty was drooling on that one. I think he was ready for another house call. And
absolutely.
I like the play call.
I do too. It was wide open. It was there for the take, and you've been talking about it all night.
Yeah, I think it was about time for that play. You got 11 in the box. You run Kissel with the tight on the other side, and even if you have no tight end, they're going to put 11 in the box with no safety help over the top, and that was a great call in that situation. Got a little unlucky with the throw, but your defense will stand up for you.
Best starting field position of the night for the Eagles on the 42-yard line. They're going to fumble this pistol snap here. Pat Connors is right there for the first contact, but Brian Barnett ends up wrapping up Prairie for about a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, it looked like Jocelyn getting on the top of the pile too there, and after
Stevie Jocelyn, Brian Barnett.
The other thing I like about that play, we get to see the replay. Stevie, good block by 64 from the Eagles on that play, and got Stevie to the ground, and Stevie doesn't quit, gets up, still fights him off, and makes a tackle, and that's some hard work right there. Good job by Big Steve Jocelyn.
Yep, so 2nd and 9 here, 7.5 to go. Prairie's got 2 backs in the backfield. Hands it to Gagnon. Connor Perry in the backfield again. Shot the gap again. That's another 1-yard loss. 3rd tackle behind the line of scrimmage, plus a sack tonight. This is the best I've seen Connor Perry this year, and I've seen him really good.
Yeah, the last couple weeks, again, okay. He's been spectacular all season long. Last couple weeks, for him, and for us, we're so used to it. Again, 17-year-old kid, but they know, right?
Right.
This kid knows this is the last time he gets to put this purple gear on and put these cleats on Hadley Field, and he's leaving it out there. There's no doubt about it.
He's shooting the gap on almost every play. Unbelievable performance so far. So we got Prairie in the shotgun again. 3rd and 10. Going to be a little pitch here, number 23, but it's fumbled. Ball's loose. Going to be picked up right. I see a whistle. I hear a whistle. They're calling it incomplete pass. Boy.
Yeah, it's forward.
I guess it's a shovel pass.
It's forward.
It's an incomplete pass.
It's the Eagles are probably a good thing because Tostrup was taking that thing to the house.
Yeah, he was. So 4th and 10, the Eagles are going to punt. Again, went nowhere with this good field position. So you talked about the defense stepping up, and they did right that.
Yeah, now, Lockerbie and this staff. Oh, you're going to take one? Yeah, the second time this year we've been listed on that, Joe. Bellas Falls did it to us earlier this year, and not a bad time to call it, right? Nothing.
Gagnon taking it down to the 20-yard line.
Nothing's worked for you. Great call by Coach Stein and his group to, great call by their staff. I mean, again, what do you got to lose at this point? It's 28-0, 6 minutes to go in the first half, and you got to try to find a way to get you something.
Yeah, because you don't want that running clock already. You don't want Bells Falls going down and scoring again right now if you stop. So Prairie in the center, that's going to be a 1st and 10 play. Briar Burnett, maybe a yard, not yard, maybe a loss of a yard.
Yeah, Connor Perry, what a surprise. Gets the first little hit in the backfield, overruns the play just a little bit, but slows him down.
Just to wrap him up.
Yeah, slows him down on the wet field, and Barnett, cleans it up. That first down of the game, given up on a fake punt with 6 minutes to go, tells me that your defense is pretty locked in.
Oh, absolutely. This has been a best performance we've seen in a long time. Go back to the Windsor games and the U32 games. They're firing on all cylinders right now. Crary takes the snap from the pistol. He's looking to the left. He's got a strike number 5. The catch for the Eagles. Gets out of the 10-yard line.
First actual, down and distance first down play for the Eagles. Nice pitch and catch right there. Gets, Ryan right for a first down, and looked like a little bit of loose coverage again. Bells Falls, don't change what you're doing here. Don't get away from things. Still stay attacking. And this game's a long way from over. We've seen this go the other way once this year.
Absolutely, no. Keep focused on what you're doing. Going to be handoff to number 32. And, one player that we know is locked in tonight is Connor Perry. Is calling his name yet again.
Yeah.
Shot the gap again.
He's coming off that edge over there. And I don't know if, Coach Stein and his guys in the booth need to try to find a way to get somebody else over there to help out. But Connor Perry is blowing by offensive linemen at will on that side of the field. And
it's something else, man.
Play after play after play, even if he hasn't made the tackle, it's hit and, knock somebody backwards or take them off balance. And
yeah, the amount of times he's got a hold of the foot, just not quite to get the guy, but slow him up for the next level to get him before he's even at the line of scrimmage. It's almost 70% of the plays.
Yeah, this is going to be, 4:35 to go till the half, and a game that's been moving right along. Eagles call their first time out again. It's really big for the coaching staff, but the emotions of the kids. Hey, 28-8.
Yeah.
Right? Bells Falls.
Different story.
Bells Falls turns the ball over. We get another chance. Right? We get the ball to start the second half. Yeah. You get another touchdown. Like, as good as Bells Falls has played, you can't get you've got should be doing the initial tackling and the hitting and all that stuff, because we've seen it too many times where a penalty or a turnover can cost the game or change things around.
So 2nd and goal here for the Eagles. Keep it. It looked like it might be. I see a flag on there. It looks like Connor's got held.
Yeah, you're going to have the holding on this edge right here.
Number
58, 50, I think.
58,
yeah,
50,
from the
like
Eagles. Connor's doing what he's supposed to do, right? Get upfield, force the guy back into the wash, into the middle of the field where everybody else is, and just let the rest of the team come in and make that tackle. Patty doesn't have to make that play.
Right.
He makes the play by forcing the play to go back where it belongs, which is inside.
It's a great job by Pat Connors there. Forces the penalty, so it's going to go backwards here for the Eagles. So deepest penetration of the game so far. They're headed backwards a little bit here. 2nd and 20, which definitely not where they want to be.
And it probably a little frustrating for Coach Stein, right? You call timeout, you're in a good position, you're on that striking touchdown range. You come out of a timeout, holding penalty, now you're 2nd and 20, you're down in distance, is not what you were hoping for.
Prairie in the pistol with Gagnon to his right. And take the snap. We're going to have a whistle, so maybe a delay a game or a false start.
Yeah,
a false start. So going backwards again for Mount Abe.
Yeah, back-to-back penalties when you're on the 11-yard line. You're now
2nd and goal from the 25.
Yeah,
that's tough.
It's really hard, but if you got that underneath play again, maybe to Ryan Wright, and you got something else up your sleeve, that little wheel route, if you think you can get that again. I like the coverage that Bells Falls had on it when they made the attempt to get down that sideline over there. The wide receivers here.
Right. Gagnon to the right of Prairie, who takes the pistol snap. He's looking that way again, but he's going to tuck it and go here. He's going to try to make a play. That's Jake Tostrup, I believe, was just not giving him any room to go. Great open field tackle here by Tostrup as he breaks down and just doesn't over pursue. He just breaks down, stays square, and makes the play.
Jake with the underneath zone coverage in his area, right? He had the flat over here in case that was a 5-yard out. Joe, he saw that split end on his side, cut across the field. He stayed underneath, so he didn't let the underneath pattern go, but broke down enough to come back and force that play to the sideline. Again, just one of those. You don't see it a ton, but what a Jake Tostrup, nice job.
Absolutely, open field tackling is the toughest thing to do in football, and he squared right up and gave nothing. 3rd and 23 here for the Eagles. Prairie takes the snap. He's going to fire it into coverage there. It's going to be knocked away by Briar Barnett. So incomplete pass, going to bring up 4th and 23.
Yeah, it's that underneath pattern they were looking for. It wasn't right this time, but, this was our – sorry, Prairie with a throw. But that's that underneath pass that they were looking for. Again, good job by Barnett to drop back and make sure that area of the field was covered with – James and they got Reed Hill over the top, and
Briar Burnett was right there.
It's good job by the Terriers.
Yeah, the zone defense looks really sharp tonight.
Yeah, it's really looking better. Again, Coach Stein was hoping to not have to throw the ball this much tonight, but 28-0 with 3 minutes to go forces your hand.
Prairie 4th and 23, looking to make something happen. He's going to throw it to the end zone. It's going to be incomplete. Little contact there, but it looks like it's going to be clean. Saul James on the coverage for the Terriers.
Yeah, and you mentioned right after the timeout there that Coach Stein's team's going to have to get some extra help, and it looks like you get a double team on the line on this side here, so there's no backside pressure for Prairie, just to try to allow him some time to throw the football.
Yeah. Been a tough start for him. Terriers will take over 1st and 10 on the 23-yard line.
I wouldn't expect anything overly cute right here from the Terriers, although they come out in a formation that we haven't seen, so what do I know?
Yeah, this is true. We haven't seen this yet. Leasai in the shotgun, takes the snap, rolls out right, quarterback keeper. Going to be met by big number 64 of the Eagles. So not a play we've seen yet this year, but little wrinkle.
Yeah, I think maybe we've seen this once or twice. I think they try to do this in Woodstock as well, maybe once late in that game, and it's
picked up a yard.
The formation is great, it looks good, but you got guys that shift way out with Connors and Bazin in the slot out there. You already got to split
so there's a lot of guys.
Yeah, you draw a lot of attention out there. Yeah, you draw a lot of attention to that side. Leaside gives them one. Positive.
2nd and 9, 2 minutes to go here in the first half. 28-0 lead. We may Bazin up here off the right guard, right tackle hole. Picks up a yard or two. See what they give him.
Yeah, one too many guys for the Terriers to block on that side. Ernst with a good job kicking his guy out. Steph James getting that second level guy. Outside linebacker, sneaks down and makes a tackle there. And on a dry field, I'm willing to bet you that number 3 meets that pad level and probably has something to say about that tackle.
Absolutely. 3rd and 6 here for the Terriers. Minute and a half to go. Leasai under center. He's going to fake the pitch. Going to hit it back here to Pat Connors. Got Brockton Lovell out there with Ben Brumrell. Connors makes a couple guys miss, and he finds the corner, gets a little bounce about the 40-yard line. So pick up about 12 yards for Connors there on a play that didn't look like it had a whole lot there.
The patience of Patty Connors right there. Waits, gets the one-on-one he needs. Stiff arm, gets a little bit more. Juke, stiff arm. That's you don't teach that stuff to a lot of guys, right? Patience to wait for things to set up, and that was 13 yards, but great run by Patty.
Leaside takes the snap in the shotgun. He's looking deep. Patty Connors had to jump over number 15, falling down there. Dakota Safford had fallen down.
Yeah, it looked like maybe he just slipped or got a turf monster there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incidental contact. There's not a lot you can do there. Nothing intentional by any means. That's just
one of the breaks.
Yeah, one of those plays that's going to happen.
Just 2nd and 10 here for the Terriers. Ball's on the 37-yard line. Leaside under center, looking to throw again. Slings it out here. He's got
Pass downfield,
the
and
head end of Goyetic. Couldn't quite reel it in. Great throw by Lisi there.
That was a good throw by Lisi. Goya with a nice route. Right over the middle of the field. Just, lost it off the
Just
fingertips.
couldn't quite haul it in.
Yeah.
Caught it with the hands like you're supposed to. Just couldn't quite haul it in. Great throw by Declan, though.
Yeah, 3rd and 10 here with 1:03 to go. We've seen some pass plays and some things out of formation, a little different for the Terriers. I would be shocked if this was not to try to run this clock out.
Yeah, minute to go, 3rd and 10. We haven't seen that pitch play in a little bit here. And we're going to actually see a fumble on that one. Isn't going to be able to recover it, but they're going to get him for a 4-yard loss on that.
Yeah, that hasn't happened too many times this year, right? Nope. That looked to me like even Bazin was looking for that outside. He saw that green out there. Steph James had a nice edge set for that. And even Patty had gotten to the 2nd level, and that was one of those plays prime Bazin for a house call. And I think the eyeballs were about the size of $50 and just dropped that one. But, I don't know. I think, we do have that probably in our plethora of stats here, Joe. How many carries Bazin has had on the season with one fumble?
Yeah.
I mean,
we definitely have that from.
Nick Lisi again providing us with some great stuff.
Bazin has 130 carries coming into tonight, and another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
dozen or so
8,
tonight,
and another 12 tonight.
Yeah, so
one on the ground.
One lost fumble, I think, on the entire season for Bazin. Connors maybe has 1 or 2. Not, for the amount of carries that this dynamic duo puts up, you don't see the ball hit the ground a lot.
Got Carter Harper back here to punt for the first time for the Terriers. Had a great job punting last week against Mill River and in the Woodstock game. That's a great punt right there, down to the 25-yard line. Received by number 12, Chase Wright. Out to the 49-yard line. So good return by Wright.
Yeah, Patty Connors, Garrett Haskell again. Garrett Haskell and another special teams play right down there. I know it's one play. One play can lead to 2, can lead to 3.
Yep.
The Terriers did such an outstanding job the first 16, 18 minutes of this half, letting the first guy make a tackle, standing him up, and then making the hit. Don't lose sight of that, Joe, right?
Stay focused. You got to finish this game just like you started.
Right. Stay locked in, stay dialed in, and make sure that you're still breaking down and making those tackles.
And at some point, you're setting a tone for next week at this point.
You're hoping so. The Eagles are going to say we got 24 minutes of football left, so the Terriers better suck it up and be ready.
Oh, absolutely. Prairie takes the snap. He slings it out here. He's dropped by number 5. Ryan Wright's going to drop the slant pass there. Nice throw by Crary, a little behind Wright, but incomplete pass nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't know what is happening on this side of the defense for the Terriers. Wright's been open twice on that, got the 1 catch for the first down earlier. They had another opportunity at another play on that side of the field. I think that was the other Wright, Chase Wright, maybe, and it's just something off in that part of the field for the Terriers in that zone defense.
Trips left here for Crary. Crary's going to chuck this one deep. He's got number 5 Wright just down past his outstretched hands. Bazin on the coverage there for the Terriers.
That's that same side, right? Like we're picking on this side, this right side of the Terriers defense, the left side for the Eagles offense, like the booth, the coaches are seeing something there that they're going to try to continue to pick apart. So, I would hope that, Coach Thule, Lorenda, Lockerbie, whoever else is, seeing this on the sideline is like, hey, somebody's not getting to where they need to get to, right on that side of the field. And, make that adjustment because we don't want that to continue to be a thing you pick on because it only takes one.
Right. So Chase Wright with 30 seconds to go here in the first, or Clary, I'm sorry, with 30 seconds to go. He's going to sling it out here through Reed Hill's hands in the zone coverage. Good coverage by Reed Hill, but couldn't quite haul in the interception there.
Again, same side of the field, right?
Yeah.
They're seeing something that we're seeing, and again, if they go underneath to Ryan Wright right there, that same pattern is wide open.
Yeah, that slant pattern kind of inside the zone. It's a little soft spot.
You got to make an adjustment there because we're not the only ones seeing this. We've had plenty of coaches, thank us for doing this. Unfortunately, it does give some it does give some scout film to some other teams to be able to watch. So
with 25 seconds to go, the Eagles will punt this one down. Basin's going to let this one go away again. It's going to get down to the 27-yard line. That's a great punt.
now I got to tell you, Joe, with less than 25 seconds, would the Terriers probably take a knee right here with 15 seconds to go? Maybe not. That's one of those ones I wish Basin would go get.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, I don't care fire or not. Right?
Go pick it up, make a run at it.
We're not gonna call fire, and there's just 25 seconds left. This is what we're gonna do. We see Coach Lockerby and Lorendo already heading towards the dugouts on the baseball field. That's one of those ones I'd love to see Basin go get and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna shoot for a house call because we've seen you take plenty of those punts, 70, 80 yards.
Absolutely. So we're going to have victory formation here. The Terriers are going to go into the half, leading 28-0 over the Mount Abraham Eagles. Most complete half we've seen in a while, Nate.
Yeah, Joe, I completely agree with you. I don't love how the last 3 or 4 minutes transpired, though, right? I know you open the playbook up some because the score is 28-0, and I know you have an opportunity to try some things. Just miss Patty on the wheel route. Goyette dropped the pass. So you're this close with Lisai on some of those plays, and you're going to need them.
Right.
I get it, but I think in a semifinal game at home with a 28-0 lead, if you have a chance to make this 35 or 42, then maybe you try the wrinkles a little bit and you salt this thing away, and then the fourth quarter you're able to go to that second group, which we've seen do some great things as well. But hey, for the most part, I think you're pretty right, Joe. This game was pretty impressive by the Terriers.
Yep. So we got a halftime break here, 28-0. So we'll take a break with them. We'll be back to start the second half of the semifinal matchup as the Terriers try to head to South Burlington next weekend for the state championship.
We would like to recognize our varsity field hockey team for winning the BPA Division II state championship this past Saturday at UVM. Coach Bethany Corson and the team played their best field hockey in the playoffs. They defeated Middlebury in the quarterfinals 7-0. Then they went to St. Johnsbury to play Hartford in the semifinals and defeated the Hurricanes 3-0. The team faced U32 in the state championship and came away with a 4-1 victory, capturing the state championship. The team allowed only 1 goal throughout the playoffs, and it was truly a team victory with the players playing their best field hockey. We would like to congratulate head coach Bethany Corson for her commitment, dedication, and passion that she has brought to field hockey in our community. This is Coach Corson's 6th state championship. We would like to recognize the players on this year's state championship team. When I call your name, would you please step forward to be recognized? Number 1, Veronica Moore. Number 2, Haven Hardy. Number 3, Avery Dole. Number 4, Reese Haskell. Number 6, Olivia Halleck. Number 7, Avery Maxfield. Number 8, Callan Lisai. Number 10, Addie Bacon. Number 12, Elise Thurber. Number 13, Anna Williams. Number 15, Delaney Studley. Number 17, Miley Illingworth. Number 19, McKenna Applegate. Number 77, Brooke Parker. Number 88, Olivia Tostrup. Head coach, Bethany Corson. And your athletic director at Bellows Falls Union High School, Rob Wells. Congratulations, girls, on a job well done. You're quite the dynasty here when it comes to field hockey in Bellows Falls. Congratulations.
Bellows Falls, ever glorious. Bellows Falls, to you we sing. Bellows Falls, ever victorious. Your praises ever ring. On the field of conflict, we will fight for the right. We'll be loyal ever to the purple and the white.
This Bellows Falls Union High School sports broadcast is brought to you by Falls Area Community Television, serving Southern Vermont and Keene, New Hampshire. We would also like to thank the community members who donated, making this broadcast possible. If you would like to have continued coverage of high school sports and other local events in your town, then go to fact8.com and click the donation button. This broadcast will begin shortly. The Bellows Falls Union High School Booster Club needs your support. Check out their Facebook page to get updates. Players and family members, if you want a highlight reel created, then contact Tech Gem Sports. For more information, go to techgem.net and fill out a request.
Bellows Falls, ever glorious. Bellows Falls, to you we sing. Bellows Falls, ever victorious. Your praises ever ring. On the field of conflict, we will fight for the right. We'll be loyal ever to the purple and the white.
This Bellows Falls Union High School sports broadcast is brought to you by Falls Area Community Television, serving Southern Vermont and Keene, New Hampshire. We would also like to thank the community members who donated, making this broadcast possible. If you would like to have continued coverage of high school sports and other local events in your town, then go to fact8.com and click the donation button. This broadcast will begin shortly. The Bellows Falls Union High School Booster Club needs your support. Check out their Facebook page to get updates. Players and family members, if you want a highlight reel created, then contact Tech Gem Sports. For more information, go to techgem.net and fill out a request.
Bellows Falls, ever glorious. Bellows Falls, to you we sing. Bellows Falls, ever victorious. Your praises ever ring. On the field of conflict, we will fight for the right. We'll be loyal ever to the purple and the white.
This Bellows Falls Union High School sports broadcast is brought to you by Falls Area Community Television, serving Southern Vermont and Keene, New Hampshire. We would also like to thank the community members who donated, making this broadcast possible. If you would like to have continued coverage of high school sports and other local events in your town, then go to fact8.com and click the donation button. This broadcast will begin shortly. The Bellows Falls Union High School Booster Club needs your support. Check out their Facebook page to get updates. Players and family members, if you want a highlight reel created, then contact Tech Gem Sports. For more information, go to techgem.net and fill out a request.
Bellows Falls, ever glorious. Bellows Falls, to you we sing. Bellows Falls, ever victorious. Your praises ever ring. On the field of conflict, we will fight for the right. We'll be loyal ever to the purple and the white.
This Bellows Falls Union High School sports broadcast is brought to you by Falls Area Community Television, serving Southern Vermont and Keene, New Hampshire. We would also like to thank the community members who donated, making this broadcast possible. If you would like to have continued coverage of high school sports and other local events in your town, then go to fact8.com and click the donation button. This broadcast will begin shortly. the Bellows Falls Union High School Booster Club needs your support. Check out their Facebook page to get updates. Players and family members, if you want a highlight reel created, then contact Tech Gym Sports. For more information, go to techgym.net and fill out a request.
Bellows Falls, ever glorious. Bellows Falls, to you we sing. Bellows Falls, ever victorious. Your praises ever ring. On the field of conflict, we will fight for the right. We'll be loyal ever to the purple and the white.
This Bellows Falls Union High School sports broadcast is brought to you by Falls Area Community Television, serving Southern Vermont and Keene, New Hampshire. We would also like to thank the community members who donated, making this broadcast possible. If you would like to have continued coverage of high school sports and other local events in your town, then go to fact8.com and click the donation button. This broadcast will begin shortly. The Bellows Falls Union High School Booster Club needs your support. Check out their Facebook page to get updates. Players and family members, if you want a highlight reel created, then contact Tech Gym Sports. For more information, go to techgym.net and fill out a request.
Bellows Falls, ever glorious. Bellows Falls, to you we sing. Bellows Falls, ever victorious. Your praises ever ring. On the field of conflict, we will fight for the right. We'll be loyal ever to the purple and the white.
All right, and we're back after that halftime break to bring you some little talk before we get back to the game here. Nate, what do you think of that first half?
Again, right up until the last couple of minutes, and I know the play calling was, again, what it was. Hey, we could try some things out. I would have loved to see the Bellows Falls just kind of put their foot down and be like, okay, this baby's over. It's 42, 45, nothing, and kind of put the stamp of approval on this thing. As we got word at halftime, Woodstock's up 49-0 on Otter Valley. So this certainly looks like it's a rematch of the game of the year.
So you want to set that tone, though. You want Woodstock to see the score at the end.
That and what you were doing was working so well. The flow was well. The sideline, the body language, everything that we've kind of talked about a little bit that we hadn't talked about was great. It's still great now. You're still up 28-0. Defense is playing outstanding. Connor Perry's got more tackles and but great job by the Terriers for a first half that has been really lacking, does not anymore. That was pretty solid.
Yeah, 6 tackles and a sack for Connor Perry in the first half. So let's mention the other state champion that just was settled, I believe it was November 1st. The state champion field hockey team, the 6th state championship for Bellows Falls. Veronica Moore had 2 goals in the championship, 10 in the playoff run. I know you've seen her play a lot more than I have, but the few games I saw, she's unbelievably skilled.
Yeah, I've had an opportunity with my daughter playing some field hockey, and my niece Reese, who plays on this championship team, and she's put a lot of time into this, and this group of girls. But the opportunity to watch a couple of these, especially these playoff games with Veronica Moore, is I'll tell you this, Joe. I would not want to take a field hockey ball off the shin from Veronica Moore. That is impressive. The way that she manipulates the ball and the way that she can just handles it, and her team, right? Avery Maxfield, Applegate. I saw Delaney Studley.
Lisa is also there.
Delaney Studley made a couple of great plays behind Brooke Parker.
Yep.
I think fundamentally, and I am not a field hockey guru by any means, but fundamentally, there's a reason why they've won this many state championships. There's a reason why Bethany Corson has been as successful as she's been as a field hockey coach with I don't know how many wins, the years ago with the wins in a row.
It was close to 250 at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, her drive to continue the youth program and having the kids give back to coach those programs.
Right.
Again, all of these girls that are juniors, freshmen, whoever they are, I know both my nieces gave back, and you went Saturdays and Sundays and Tuesdays or whatever these camps were that Bethany puts on, and it shows. Impressive, very impressive job by the field hockey team, and you have that. We talk about the dynamic duo for the football team, and I got to see a lot of that in these last few games with Maxfield and Veronica Moore, and Veronica's going to go on and play at college, and man, I tell you. Yeah, I'm telling you, I wouldn't take one of those, Joe.
And Maxfield's a sophomore, I believe, so good goal scorer moving forward.
Yeah, the whole team, again, so well coached, moved the ball well. You mentioned Callanley's side, but I can't go through the roster of them all, but the way that they play team field hockey is why you have, we just saw them out in the field holding up the state championship trophy. Kudos to them. And I will say, now that we're talking about this field hockey team, I had a chance to talk with you and some of the parents, and I know for a fact that 90% of this football team was there.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that they didn't see that fire truck parade going through Bellows Falls going, we want one of those.
Absolutely.
Right?
And now we'll get back to the second half here as Will shows us a replay of the field hockey team receiving their state championship. Now, some of these girls I know will be playing basketball in the winter, and I got to see some of them play basketball last winter. Great skill, great skill.
Yeah, Elise Herber, Hardy. I mean, it's outstanding. They were really fun to watch.
Absolutely. So Steve Joslin ready to give the ball a kick here for the Terriers.
By Stephen Joslin, and it's going to be fielded at the 10-yard line.
Going to be fielded at the 10-yard line by number 0, Prairie. Prairie breaks a tackle. Right on the first play from scrimmage. This is the biggest play of the day for the Mount Abe Eagles. This is going to be a touchdown for Prairie. That's going to be a 90-yard touchdown return. So not the way the Terriers wanted to open up.
And this is a little bit what we just said, right? Put your foot down when you have the opportunity, because it only takes one play. Now who's fired up?
Right.
Here, and I know it's 28-6, but this momentum change can mean a lot. We've seen this go the other way.
Absolutely.
The last couple of weeks, we just said Bellows Falls played the best first half they had. Don't tell me they're going to come out and play that way in the second half.
Right.
We had a flag on the play.
So maybe we jumped the gun a little bit here.
Yeah, it looks like, Gagnon's back by where the officials are, and if that is, it's really unfortunate for the Eagles. Looks like they're coming back all the way here.
It does. There's going to be a block in the back.
That may be why he got the touchdown, but that's a scary thing, and I bet you that Bob and Ryan and the rest of the coaching staff on the sideline over there is not happy with the way that thing started.
No, not at all. They didn't really they weren't in their lanes. They kind of broke down, just opened up the gaps there. But maybe the block in the back had something to do with it.
Sure, but take a breath, regroup yourself. Don't allow this, as we've talked about for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 plays, and of that first half, Joe, this pass to this left-hand side, right, over by where Reed Hill is. We got Bazin coming to this side now. Patty Connors looks like he's outside linebacker on this side. You're giving up some space over here, so let's hope there's not a big completion, in, be able to move all down the field.
Prairie here, 1st and 10, going to hand it off to Gagnon. Or is that Yeah, that's Gagnon. First big run for him. Jaden Bazin on the tackle.
Like hearing Jaden Bates' name on defense. We talk about him all the time on offense. Beginning of the year, 5 picks, big plays, big tackles, big hits.
6-yard game.
This is the Jaden Bates that I like to see right here.
Yeah,
stepping
good physical
up.
Tackle right there.
Yeah, stepping up, leaving this to a 5-yard carry, not a 9-yard carry.
Yeah, good physical play by Jaden Bazin there.
And we'd like to see for the Terriers, Connor Perry right here. Hey, let's get back to that rhythm you were in the first half and go get somebody.
Gagnon's going to break another tackle. Gagnon's going to go off to the races here. So we've seen some sloppy tackle at the start of the second half here. Gagnon's going to get all the way down to the 33, 34-yard line.
And a fired up Eagle sideline. That kick return, even though it came back, that kick return rejuvenated him. Briar Barnett missed tackle. Steph James caught in the wash. Good hustle by Connor Perry. Jaden Bazin, bad angle. The Bellows Falls has got to really clean this up.
Nice run by number 32.
That said, good job by Gagnon with the cutback to get to the other side of the field, get some open field, get out of bounds, stop the clock. Again, you got the crowd over there. Good crowd for the Eagles. A little fired up here.
About a 45-yard run there for 32. Gagnon. Gagnon gets the feed again. Stephen James on the tackle this time. Only a couple of yards that time.
I see Solly James. We had benefit of the replay here. Yeah, he was down. Steph almost ripped that thing out, though.
Yeah.
Good thing going for the ball, but we'll take the tackle, right?
Absolutely. 2 yards gained for Gagnon that time. It's definitely the most fire we've seen from Mount Abe here.
Yeah, the kick return, even though called back, it just lights the fire a little bit. Hey, we got something. We got some juice.
Right.
We got some flow. Now let's go get a touchdown.
2nd and 8 here. Got Crary in the pistol with Gagnon behind him. Gagnon's been active here in the second half. Crary's going to throw it deep here. Andrew Goyette running the pattern, but can't quite pull that one in. Great coverage by Goyette. He was ahead of the receiver there, and it looked like it was thrown right to him.
Yeah, good read down that sideline. Man coverage for the Terriers. Again, you haven't seen a lot of deep balls down the field. Most of the stuff that the Eagles have thrown have been underneath, allowing the linebacker for Bells Falls to help coverage with Bazin and Solly James with safety help over the top. But, good pattern. Good read by Goyette in the right place.
He was trying for Ryan Wright there. Ryan Wright's been targeted a lot by Crary here tonight. Got 4 wide here. 2 left, 2 right. Got Gagnon in the deep right behind Crary. Crary takes the snap on 3rd and 8. Quick fire out here to Wright. That's in front of everybody. Wright's going to get tackled by Jaden Basin at about the 6-yard line. So that's going to be a 5-yard gain for the Eagles.
Yeah, something's changed from the first 14, 15 minutes of this game. And I know some of it is the Eagles' willingness to want to fight for every play. Coach Stein mentioned it. Coach Empey mentioned it. These guys aren't going to quit, and they're taking it right to the Terriers here.
1st and 5 here. 1st and goal, essentially. Crary in the pistol with Gagnon directly behind him. It's going to be a quick handoff to Gagnon. Gagnon initially met no resistance, but then there's no gang of Terriers there to wrap him up, and it's going to be Saul James taking him down after about a 5-yard gain out of the 1.
Gain of a couple.
Yeah, good run. This is what the Eagles have wanted. Gagnon's now getting going. He's got some momentum. He's got some flow. The juices are rolling. You can't let him get going. I saw him go for 267 and 3 TDs against Cosmos last week, so he's got it in the tank, Joe.
Yep, this Eagles line's getting a little push for the first time here, pushing back that Terriers defensive line. It's going to be a bad snap over Crary's head. It's going to be eaten up there by number 65, Brockton Lovell, getting a big loss there. So that's a big mistake by the Eagles.
Yeah, good sack, good play, pursuit by Brockton Lovell.
Jacob Tostrup was the first one in there. And Lovell comes in with the sack at the end.
Jake, we praised you so much high here in the first half. Don't lose it. Don't lose it here and start the second half. I got a feeling, within the next few minutes here that Jake Tostrup's going to end up making a big play for these Terriers.
A 13-yard loss there. Bring up a 3rd and goal from about the 14-yard line here for the Eagles.
Yeah,
3rd and goal, Mount Abe.
Play.
Crary
looks to throw the ball. He's got his receiver Gagnon out here, but Pat Connors and I think that's Stephen James.
Yeah,
Maybe Briar Barnett out there with him.
Good job from Patty right here. The wrap.
Patty reads it immediately.
The breakdown,
Stephen James comes up to clean it up.
That's what we're looking for. Good job from the Terriers out of that right there.
22 with 32 with a nice tackle. Pick up no yards there for the Eagles.
Yeah, 4th and 18. This is a tone setter for the Terriers. I would love to see Connor Perry get a sack and be able to run off the field and give this Terriers offense the ball back and a chance to kind of salt this thing away.
Yeah, sitting 4th and goal here, so you can't give up a touchdown. Anything but a touchdown is what you got to do here. It's going to be almost intercepted by Reed Hill, who had the entire field in front of him.
Yeah, I think Reed Hill got those half dollar size eyeballs Jade Basin had earlier.
I think so.
Yeah.
He read that perfectly, Nate.
He had the house call right there.
Absolutely.
Good play by Reed Hill. Senior kid who's played 4 years right from the Pee Wee program, and we've seen him in some of these games this year struggle a little bit. He did have a great game against Fairhaven, but man, that would have been bittersweet for a senior on his last game for a house call 90
Oh, you're
yards.
right, though. His eyes had to light up Nate, when that one came right to him. So 1st and 10, the Terriers take over on the 11-yard line. 28-0 with 7.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Declan Leaside behind center. Connors in motion from his slot position. Quick handoff up the middle to Stephen James. Stephen James going to pick up a quick 4 yards.
Yeah, Terrier started the game out with that too, right? First play of the first half, first play of the second half. Again, just a little misdirection, suck some guys in. And, hopefully that James, again, we'll take 4 yards out of that.
Absolutely. First down, 4 yards. Any coach will take that.
Yeah, because, the second down, if it's the same, you're 3rd and 2, right? You're down in distance is what you want. You're manageable and, putting this duo in a position for another one of these big long runs.
Leaside under center here. He's got the power I formation with Pat Connors in the power right. He's going to keep it with the option up here to Jaden Basin. Basin gets a big block from Boyette to help him get the corner. Then forward to shoulder. And picks up extra yards. Great run by Jaden Basin right there.
Yeah, picks up, what, we got 40 yards here, right to the 50-yard line or so.
Let's see where he's at when we see the yard markers.
We've talked about.
He's out to the 40, so it's a 25-yard run.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about Jaden Basin. You and I talked a little bit at halftime too. You're new Terriers rushing record leader.
Yeah, 130 unofficially in the first half.
Yeah, approaching 1,800 for the season. So congratulations to Jaden Basin.
Also almost 30 touchdowns in the season too. 29.
Pretty
Gonna be a quick
incredible,
hitter to
man.
Patty Connors off the left side there. Patty's going to pick up a couple of yards with a good push.
This line and the quarterback play from Leaside and the leadership through and through from every single player in this team. Jaden Basin doesn't have 1,800 yards and 27 touchdowns.
100%.
It's awesome to see because you mentioned this rushing list before with Jed Lober and Caden Haskell and Shane Clark and I mean, the umpteen running backs that this school has produced ever, and for Jaden Basin to be on the top of that is pretty impressive.
It really is. I mean, you think back all the years, and I thought Johnny Ostrowski just was unbelievable, and to see him down that list,
Basin again.
Jaden Basin picks up another big run. Looks like about 20 yards as he goes 20-yard line to 40-yard line.
Yeah, this is right up the middle too, and I think you're maybe starting to see a little bit of the wear and tear, right? The Eagles are like, I don't want to get hit again. It's a lot. It's taxing on the 265 average of the line up front with Cam Perry and Ernst and Lovell and Joslin and Rumrow, and we got the double tight end set coming in now.
And they're going right between the guard tackle or the guard center gap, left side, right side, just over and over here to start the second half. Declan's back to throw the ball. He's out. He's got Costa with a one-handed catch.
We just said, Joe, we've come accustomed to these Terrier teams this year in hey, one play where it's, my bad. Tostrup missed that sack on the last possession.
Yeah.
What a catch.
What a catch.
What a great catch by Jake.
He's had some big games this year as the receiver. He's been unheralded as a blocker. But, man, he's had some great games the last few weeks. Basin on the direct snap. And lowers the 36-0. That guy's going to think twice before he tries to tackle Jaden High again.
Yeah, we've mentioned the cold tub a couple of times this year for teams at the
You can't tackle Jaden at his shoulders, man.
We've mentioned the cold tub a couple of times this year for some of these teams, and I'm always an advocate being a coach, Joe, that players ride the bus home. If number 20 wants to ride home with his parents after that, he's more than welcome because he's going to need some ice.
Yeah, that one, you tackle Jaden low, you can't try to tackle him high, or else that's going to happen every time.
But these Eagles will stick their head in there every time. Again, not scared of the Terriers.
No.
They've had some drives. They've done some really nice things, and it just doesn't come together for you.
Right.
Sometimes in sports, that happens.
Yep.
You can feel like you're well matched, and it's a play here, a play there, a bad snap at the
Yeah.
10-yard line.
Yeah, the last time they were down
And the
inside the
Eagles-
20, they were
Yeah,
backwards on a
the-
couple penalties.
The Eagles get down there twice.
6 points off the
Coach-
board from the penalty on the
Yeah.
touchdown return.
Coach Sines said last night, stop shooting yourself in the foot. Bad snap, 3 penalties, 4 penalties, and it's unfortunate, but I love the passion that this Eagles team has to keep fighting.
Joslin with a big boot here for the Terriers. Gets it down to about the 15-yard line where Gagnon takes the reception. Colton Colborn with a big wrap-up tackle there. Colton Colborn with another special team tackle for the Terriers.
Love seeing the seniors, right? Lee side of Tostrup.
Here's
Next play, Colton Colburn.
Look at that. Another great open field tackle at special
And-
teams for Colton.
This Purple Gang senior-led team. We got 10 of them. We got a man down here for the Eagles. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah.
This we talked about it beforehand, and the senior leadership from this team is just it's spectacular.
Absolutely.
It's remarkable. Looks like a cramp.
Looks like some cramping. I see some yellow on the flag there on the ground too, so it looks like there might be a penalty on the play as well.
Yeah, so hopefully this young man's okay. We've been pretty lucky this year, Joe, to not have a lot of injuries that we've seen to be, too bad. We've seen a couple of guys, the Fairhaven game really comes to mind with the long
running
kid.
The
The long kid kind of got hurt. And
long.
that kind of changed that flow of that game some. And, we'd never want to see that. We always want to see these kids work hard.
I think in Springfield game, Martinez got hurt towards the end of the first half too.
Yeah,
Changed that a little bit.
But, we bless it all because this game is very hard to play.
Absolutely.
The
Very
physicality, the hits, the ability to get up and continue to grind it out, and especially when it's you're up or down, 36-0, and so good to see.
Have a big round of applause.
They're gonna have a hold on that.
Mount Abraham.
I think we had sportsmanlike conduct. The referee kind of showed us. That's Gagnon with the cramp. Not surprised, right? Just like Emory we saw with Woodstock. When you have these kids that are getting 15, 18, 25 carries a game in on every play, the numbers for some of these football teams aren't huge. So your kick return, kickoff, kick return, punt return, defense, offense, and then you carry the ball 15, 18 times. It's a lot of wear and tear in your body.
Absolutely. So 1st and 10 on the 12-yard line here for the Eagles. Prairie in the pistol. Got number 23, Logan Stearns, behind him as Gagnon's on the sidelines for at least a play here while he works the cramps out. Trips to the right for the Eagles. Going to be a quick handoff to Stearns. Stearns is coming out to the left here. He's being pushed. Nowhere to go. Brian Barnett and Jake Tostrup just absolutely pursue and not give up. Jake Tostrup, I'm not sure. It looks like, looks like 23 was down, but he got back up. We'll see what the referee says.
Several times. Logan
I guess he was never down. He fell right on top of Stephen James.
Yeah, so I mean, if they're not going to, if they're not going to call it down, they can't call the late hit on 72. It looks like they're going to call personal foul. 72 gets a shot on Brockton Lovell right here at the end. You see it come flying in right there, and if he's not down, it looks like the referee had already blown his whistle. So. That's going to be a personal foul. Yeah, that's
another penalty backwards for the Eagles here.
Yeah, you can't have crackback blocks like that. Back when we played, you could have those kick leaders. And the safety of the game has really changed the way that goes, and that's okay with some of them. You got to see the number on the front to make the hit be legal, and I'm okay with that because the speed, the power, and everything that these kids produce now is. It's a lot. We've seen Jaden Bazin with the pad level so many times this year. Again, not just him, the offensive line in general, just hitting completely hard.
7-yard line.
We got a 1st and 20 now for Mount Abraham down on the 6-yard line. Prairie in an empty backfield here for the first time tonight. Back to throw from his own end zone. That's Connor Perry. Connor Perry's got him. Oh, just out almost a safety for Connor Perry.
Even on this play, Joe,
Second
he
sack
almost
for Perry.
strips it out of there with the first hand. You're running out of adjectives for Connor Perry tonight. But it's good to see him get back in there and make a big hit like that. These seniors, I hope Bob gives a chance to just ride it out we're in running time situation
Right.
now. Second 20 from the 2-yard line. It's tough for the Eagles right now, but you got to think you got to go underneath the right, probably here to try to get yourself a little space
It's
up
been
from the goal
open
line.
most of the day. You kind of got to try to hit what's been open. So Carreri's going to be in the pistol. He's going to take the shotgun. Gagnon's back out for the Eagles. Carreri's trying to break free. He gets out of the end zone. He pushes it up to the 10-yard line, where he's pushed out of bounds by Pat Connors and Briar Barnett.
Number 0, Clark Prairie.
Good scramble.
Big 10-yard gain just to get a little space
Yeah,
there.
gives you a little space, 3rd and 10. Again, another penalty for the Eagles.
Oh, is there another flag down on the ground?
No, not this time. But again, set them back to where they were, right?
Yeah.
So this is 6 or 7 penalties, 8 penalties that they've had, and it's been tough, with the down and distance like we talked about for the Eagles all night long. And Coach Stein was not wanting that. He wanted that 2nd 5, 3rd and 5, or less.
What the Terriers look for.
The Terriers defense. Stingy.
Absolutely. We got 3rd and 12 here for Crary. Gagnon back there. We got 3 wide to the left here. It's going to be a quick hitter to Gagnon. Gagnon finds the running. Takes the tackle. Look here for the Terriers. Gagnon's finding some running room here in the second half.
Number 32, Cole Gagnon, back in the game, and he's going to pick up about 12 yards.
Maybe a hair short.
25-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to move the chain for the Eagles.
2 minutes to
A
go
big
here in the
13-yard gain for him.
Eagles have it first and 10.
2nd 20 on your own 1-yard line, and almost a strip sack by Connor Perry to
Almost a safety.
getting yourself out of it some. And even 1 touchdown for the Eagles is better than none, right?
Absolutely.
You love the pride and the effort out of them to
Crary
continue.
back in the pistol again, looking to throw, gets it out. That's going to be Jaden Mason immediately on the contact. It looks like number 5, Ryan Wright, actually held on to that.
The receiver, and it's a gain of about 5 for Mount Abe.
Yep, it was.
32-yard line.
Yeah, I love, again,
2nd and 3 coming
Tech
up.
Gym, sports with just the replays have been outstanding. And again, we can't just say enough good stuff about it. We have the luxury of that.
Yep.
It looks to me too like maybe this the back judge and the umpire here put the flags away a little bit. It's some pretty tough holding calls in the middle there that are. But hey, listen, you can't call them all.
2nd and 3 for Crary, back to throw again. Swings it out here. Pat Connors gets his hands on it. It's going to be headed by Stephen James on
By number 32,
or not senior night, but the last game they'll play here.
Yeah, you can consider it senior night. It's the last time they're going to put the pads on in this field. Good read. This is the underneath read to this left side that we missed for about 3 or 4 minutes in the first half. Where Wright and guys were getting open.
Good correction there by the defensive staff. Of
Yeah,
Bells Falls.
we said you got to make that adjustment to figure out what's going on that side. And Patty Connors drop back in coverage, gets a hand on it, and allows Steph James to get his first INT. So we get a lot of good stuff for these seniors today.
Absolutely.
Love it, Joe.
30-yard line here for the Terriers. Great starting field position. Declan Leasai under center. Slot right for Pat Connors. Stephen James and Jaden Bazin deep. 1st and 10, 52 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Going to be a play out here on the right side to Jaden Bazin. Going to be met immediately by number 21 of the Eagles. Going to lose a couple yards on that play.
Yeah, we haven't said that a ton this year, but good job by the Eagles defense stepping into that hole, making a play.
Atkins was the first one there, and it's a loss of 2 yards.
There's 2 yards to bring up a 2nd and 12.
Yeah, as we get the running time going, we'll see that that probably was the last play of the quarter. Leasai's hustling out there, so maybe they're going to try to get one more off. I don't know where the play clock is compared to the game clock here, but this could be the end of the 3rd quarter with 12 minutes to go, and you got an opportunity to go against those Wasps again, Joe, for a shot at the state championship.
Right now, we're just trying to close out this game. The Terriers would love to go shutout here. Number 32, Gagnon, with a nice tackle there. Going to get Bazin for about the whistle. Could have been blown it multiple times there. Looks like they missed a little bit on that as Baden's pursuit had been stopped for a foot while.
Yeah, I don't know where the play clock was at right there, but hey, Eagles are going to fight to the whistle here.
Absolutely.
We have reached the end of the third quarter.
Negative plays.
With Bellas Falls
Again, I
leading
know it's
Mount Airy.
36-0. Don't stop doing what you're doing.
Right.
Keep that. Be repetitive. Be productive.
Finish those
Forward.
blocks.
Finish it. Get it down. You know what? I would love to see this get down to the 2-yard line, 1-yard line, and Leasai for that senior moment on the field for
Right.
his push touchdown. Connor Perry getting the backfield for a touchdown. The seniors have made some big plays today.
Yeah, Goya had an interception. We've had Stephen James with an interception. Connor Perry has been everywhere.
Yeah.
Colton Colburn.
On special teams, you don't say his name a lot because he's on the offensive line, but Cam Perry, haven't said his name
Nearly enough this year.
not tonight enough, but his last time on Hadley Field, north-south guy, fully expect him to probably be in that Shrine game as well, and his blocking up front is, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. And maybe best play of the night, the one-handed grab by senior Jake Tostrom.
Yeah, Jake, Declan with a great ball there, and we now see, looks like Colburn's in on offense for the Terriers, probably at the tight end or split end position.
Yeah. 3rd and 11 here for the Terriers.
Yeah, probably the split end
Terriers
position.
come to the line,
Yeah,
looking
sideline.
at a third down and 11 from
Little
Mount
run here.
Airy, 31-yard
Yeah, a little play action. Not that we need to put the ball in the air when it's 36-0, but Colburn has been one of those guys that's given you a ton all season long.
Little formation to the right out there with Bazin. They're swinging out to Pat Connors real quick. Connors goes nowhere. Another good tackle out there. That's number 23.
We made a bunch of tackles here lately.
Yeah, Stearns has been called a lot
Stearns
here.
has done a really good job in this
That's a
third,
great
fourth
open
quarter.
field. Great open field tackle.
He just stuck Bazin on 2 of those runs on the last, on the 2 plays before this. So
Stearns with a great defensive series there. No gain for the Terriers. It's going to be 4th and 11. See if they dial up on 4th and 11 here.
Yeah, Colburn out here. Single coverage, no safety help over the top. It wouldn't hurt to just maybe huck one up to him.
Leasai under center here, 4th and 11, sorry. Going to be Leasai rolling out. He's looking for Colburn. That was tough. Colburn. Just overthrew him a little bit there, so incomplete pass by Leasai. Be a turnover on downs for the Terriers.
Yeah, with the running time still going, but just barely. I probably still see the first team defense out there for Bellas Falls for the most part. To finish this thing off, you hold them here, you get the ball back, 36-0. You start to see maybe Connor Perry in the backfield. We've seen a ton this year, and maybe get him a couple of carries to see if he can bust one to the house in his last game on Hadley Field.
On Hadley. Terriers here, defense 1st and 10. Prairie in the shotgun, gets it out quickly to 5 right. Looks like the ball's short now. So it's going to be an incomplete pass.
A little pressure by Patty Connors, get his hand in the air, and just enough to be a nuisance on that.
Good pass defense by the Terriers for the most part tonight.
Loss of a yard on the play.
Yeah, Patty's had a few of those plays.
2nd and 11
again,
coming up.
For Connors' last football game at Hadley Field, I've said it a lot in my time doing these games with you. The ultimate leader. I love the kid, and I'm proud of him and happy that he's going to have an opportunity to put a state championship banner in that gym.
Absolutely. Crary under center, quick hand off to Gagnon. Gagnon finds a little more running room again. He's going to find the left edge. He's going to get past Green Hill. Can't quite grab him. Garrett Haskell comes from the backside. Can't quite get him down. And Gagnon's going to take it to the house there. That's a 69-yard touchdown run for Clark Gagnon.
Yeah, getting the second half. No quit. Cramps, offense, defense. Again, he's the guy. Loves his team in general, but he said this kid can get it done. He's really a do-all kind of player, and we've seen it here in the second half.
Yep.
Some big stops on Bazin for negative yardage, and now a house call that gets us out of the running time. So
And he
Lining
the
up for
first
the extra
half
point
he didn't
here.
have much, but here in the second half he's closing in about 80 yards rushing, 90 yards rushing in the second half.
not many carries either, Joe.
Nope. So Mount Abraham will try for the extra point here.
Flag is thrown before the snap.
Something prior to the snap done.
Yeah, we don't, regardless of the score, we don't want to see complacency from the Terriers.
Looks like a neutral zone infraction, maybe. Place kicker for the Eagles is number 20. Crary will be on the hold.
Logan punt, Painter.
Yeah, I don't need these penalties on these extra points either, right? Like,
Right.
offense and defensively, like these conversions, still a little mind-boggling sometimes with the Terriers. But if you're gonna make them, make it be on these sometimes. But you still don't want to have them,
Come next week.
especially going in. 10 minutes to go here. Until
Points
you
are
have
gonna
an
be at a premium,
opportunity to have a rematch with this Wasp team.
That Woodstock game, every point's going to matter.
It sure is.
So the extra point kick is up. Looks good from here.
And the kick is good.
36 to
Abe
7.
has the extra
Minutes to
point.
go here. Quarter.
10:22
That was
to
a good
go
hook
here
by
in the
Mount
ball
Abe
game.
Eagles.
Mount Abe
Yeah,
on the board.
now you're gonna, probably see a short kind of squib kick type of thing, which, we've become accustomed to, especially with the wet grass in the last 3 weeks, and we don't need, the Eagles don't need Bazin to catch the ball, don't need Connors to catch the ball. Although DeVignon's had some nice returns himself from
Yeah, he
back
has.
there. We've seen Briar Barnett with some nice returns from an up
Yeah,
position.
from that up man position.
Hands team's got to be ready. 2 weeks ago, Kissel took one liner right off the leg. We don't think that was an intentional onside kick by Woodstock, but
Worked
it
out that
happened,
way.
right? So these guys up front really got to be ready. I see they got James, Colburn,
Yeah. Does look
Garrett
like they got
Haskell.
the hands group out there.
Yeah.
Kissel's out
Logan
there.
Painter,
Fletcher.
kick for Mount Abe.
Stephen James.
Number 19,
Harper,
Cody
Ostrup.
Davenport,
You got
number 3,
a good
and number
group of
22,
the
Pat
hands
Connor.
guys out there ready to dive on it. Don't do anything fancy with it. Make a play and get your offense back on the field.
Yeah. Let the offense make a play here. So the Eagles will kick off from the 40-yard line. So the penalty from the extra point was enforced here. There's the onside kick. It's going to be right out of bounds, so that's going to be a illegal procedure.
Yeah, and if you're the Terriers, just take the ball, right? There's no
Yep.
need for a re-kick here because you know what's coming. It's going to be the same style of kick, and at this point, take the ball to 35. Get Declan in that leadership. Those guys out there, and
Yep.
the Hogs out there one or two more times, and salt this thing away the best you can, like you've done. It seems like 1,000 times this year.
Yep.
Blocking up front, second level blocking, and then you let this, dynamic duo that's given us so many plays all season long,
Yeah.
an opportunity to get to the house one more time and
Ball will be
from
placed
this
at
Terriers
midfield
team,
where the Terriers
off to
will start
Burlington,
first and 10.
South Burlington there next week for an opportunity at something special.
So these sides under center here. First and 10. Terriers take over right at the 50-yard line.
For the Terriers, first down.
First and 10 with Stephen James right behind him. It's going to be a handoff right to James. James is going to pick up 6 yards on the carry. Tough running by Stephen James every time they get the ball tonight.
Yeah, good play call right there. I like the fact that, with the fake, sell it. You have, three guys, especially the outside linebackers, defensive ends for the Eagles. 3 steps towards Bazin. It gives James that hole to get those couple of extra yards.
Off the left side there, nice little hole by Steve Joslin and Ben Lomo. Declan Lisa under center, 2nd and 4. Steph James behind him. Patty Connors in the power right. Connors
Lisa
going to get
hands
the carry
off
here. He's going to
Connors, who
break out on the right
tackle
side
line of
after a
scrimmage.
Rylan Ernst tackle.
Oh, man,
Great
another
block,
stiff arm
great
by
stiff
Patty.
arm. He gets up to the 30-yard line. He picks up 14 yards on that. Stiff arm. Great block by Rylan Ernst right there. And there's the stiff arm. That just freed him up.
That's probably the fifth one tonight. But the patience from Patty, God, it's so unbelievably great to watch, right? Just
Absolutely.
wait. See your spot, see your opportunity for the burst.
And then
Get that hand out there, and then get yourself another 10 or 12 yards. He's done it all season long. It's so impressive, the stiff arms and the way that these running backs for the Terriers, can get that going.
Lee Sy under center here. 1st and 10 for the Terriers. Going to hand off to Bazin coming on the counter left here. He got blocked with the left side, and he'll away with him. Jacob Chostrup pushing downhill, and Bazin's going to have a nice first down.
On the bottom of the pile from out
Yeah, positive yardage. Keep this clock chugging.
About 6 yards, I think, there for Bazin.
4 for the Terriers.
You're going to give them that short little second and couple of yards here for the down and distance, and this is
This
the
is what
time.
you want.
This is the time, I think, for the sixth game that this year that we've said, wait for the back judge to stick his hand up. I know it's 7 minutes left, but there's no need to rush this.
No. And they're doing exactly what they want to do. They're salting this game away. First down after first down. Maybe a little encroachment there for the Eagles.
Yeah, so, after the 6-yard gain from Bazin on the last play, this gives you an automatic first down.
And that will be enough for a Terrier first
now it's just.
You're inside
you're
the red
taking
zone here.
You're taking a minute off the clock with every play. There's no need for any rush here at all. We see Kissel coming in for probably the double tight end set, and
let's see what the Terriers dial up here.
First and 10 Terriers from the 19-yard line.
James on first down hasn't hurt you all night long, but we're going to see he's going to go in motion. This could either be the toss or the boot.
Yep. We've seen this formation a couple of times here. Oh, they're going to go the other way with the option
back to Jaden Bazin, and he is going to break the tackle.
Read by the Eagles there.
To the 15.
Yeah, and
20.
Nice tackle. And this is
number 12 on the stop.
Number 20 for the Eagles, right in the mix. Took the big, huge shot from Bazin. That's love, man. You got to love these kids that just keep grinding. And that kid took a big shot 5 minutes ago on a 2-point conversion, and still in there battling.
Yeah, you notice he got down and tackled at the legs this time.
Second down Terriers from the Mount Abe.
With 2nd and 7 here for the Terriers. Big formation up to the right again. A little different than the last one, but
Bazin, and he's met right at the line of scrimmage and knocked backwards on a nice play there by number 21.
Yeah, we got a little connection lost here. Happens. Weather up at Hadley Field tonight hasn't been the greatest. Joe and I got here nice and early tonight, and
3rd and 9 for the Terriers.
It was windy, it was rainy, it wasn't pleasant outside, so we're hoping that
comes back for us here.
Will can get us reconnected there at the field. Again, he's just been so great with all the stuff he's done for us up there every single game this year.
And we're back.
For the Terriers from the
3rd and 9 here for the Terriers. It's going to be a pitch out to Bazin. He's going to throw it. It's going to be caught by Andrew Boyette for the touchdown.
For a Terrier touchdown.
The 16-yard
Boyette
from
Jaden Bazin touchdown.
3rd touchdown pass of the season for Jaden Bazin.
19 yards from Jaden Bazin to Andrew
19
Boyette.
yards, my apologies.
So we got Bazin with 5 total TDs tonight, Joe. Is that what you're
5
seeing
total
right
TDs
now?
tonight.
Puts him over 30 for the year. I know we got a couple of running backs for that Hartford Hurricanes team who we saw was in a good dogfight with the Fairhaven team earlier. It's hard pressed for me to think a kid that could have 2,000 yards and 30-something touchdowns isn't your Gatorade Player of the Year.
Yeah,
I don't care. A sophomore.
He's gets out there to take a Kostrup with his second 2-point conversion of the night. He's going to have his name in the paper after this one.
Yeah, Jake, good job.
Good throw by Leaside too.
Yeah, good work by the Terriers, and to answer back quickly, and put this thing in a position now where that crowd at Hadley Field is probably hopping. I know it's cold, but the band is fired up. The school song's ready to go. Lockerbie's not going to have any letdowns for the last 5 minutes, but we're looking forward to probably what could be the rematch everyone's been waiting for.
When we left the field that night, we thought it was a certain possibility. But that was just a wild game that night, and I'm certainly looking forward to the rematch.
Yeah, I can't wait. We're not, with the VPA and how things are with the championship games, we're not going to be able to kind of do what we've been able to do with you for that game. But, Joe and I are going to go and be on the side and root this team on as like we've done all season long. And we're excited for an opportunity to see these guys have a chance to win a title.
Yeah, it's been great to be part of this Bells Falls football community this year. I mean, I've been a lifelong Wildcat. I'm sitting here wearing Bells Falls Terrier gear now, and I'm rooting for kids that I played against their parents in sports, and it's been a fun experience, and I've been very, very grateful for being accepted the way I have been. We've had a lot of great feedback on what we've done this year, Nate, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, community's great. Again, every person that's been with us this whole process, and again, it's the community support, the players, the feedback from the players. I have an opportunity sometimes, with my son going to the school and being in the class with Kissel and Solly James and Jaden Bazin, and the unbelievable things that this sophomore class alone, Jackson Fletcher, who's made plays, Timmy Fletcher, who's made plays, to grow up with these kids like I have, it's truly a blessing to have this opportunity with these guys to see what they've done and grow into young men.
And as we, roll down our final coverage of the season here on Fact TV with 4 minutes to go, I just want to take a minute. We've called them out a lot, but I want to thank Alex here at Fact TV and his son Bryce for what he's been able to do for us this year. Will Simino of Tech Gym Sports, who's done a great job in the game season for us. His daughter helped out in the Woodstock game. It's really been a great effort from the team here to put together this broadcast that I feel is really phenomenal here in the state of Vermont.
It is. Like I said, I've talked to a lot of coaches this year, and their feedback to us.
There's Will's daughter.
Yeah, bundled up there. So thanks for sucking it up for us, because we're here in the studio. Joe and I are actually sweating right now. It's warm in here. Sorry.
Yeah, the Under Armour shirt was unnecessary. Clark Gagnon coming up with another tough run.
What a run.
Gagnon is not quit at all. You got to give this kid credit. Absolute stud there for Gagnon, man.
Yeah, and he's, gets to the end zone and he's gassed, but it's a 60-yard touchdown. I mean, this kid's going to have 150, close to 200 yards, and, really seems it doesn't go for naught because it's noticed by everyone in his community, right? We just said.
Even gets a pat on the hat from Goyette there. I mean, much respect.
We talk about our community. When I talk to Coach Stein, he loves the community up there. He loves the support, his coaches, the Pee Wee program that he's helping to build up there. And, he's really, and this staff and players and coaches and dads have really invested in this, and it shows. And I'm proud of that program, and to come in here and fight and battle, and it's awesome.
Is Mount Abe a North Country school? Are they up north as well?
Yeah, they're up. They're quite the ride up at Bristol area, I think.
Okay.
Maybe. So, but it takes a while, And when I had the conversation with Coach Stein, talking about our Pee Wee program, and you and I have talked about it from the first quarter of the first game.
Yep.
That it's where it comes from, right? You learn how to pull. Brock Lovell learned how to pull when he was 8 years old.
Yeah.
Stevie learned how to pull when he's 8 years old. Talking with guys, we mentioned it a little bit on the broadcast. Jared James, Nick Lisai, with Steph James, Connor Perry, Declan Lisai, Pat Connors. These guys all played on the same Pee Wee football team, right?
Yeah.
They.
Yeah, I think I saw Jared's post the other day where he drafted 6 of these kids or something like that in one season.
It's so awesome, but it's been fun. I can't say enough. I appreciate it all, and we look forward to coming back. I look forward to, to the hopefully what's another parade, Joe. That was pretty fun.
It absolutely would be. We might have to get Alex to let us cover the parade. Nice covery there by number 5. That's Jake Kissel. Jake Kissel with a nice recovery on the onside kick there. Terrific play. Just another guy stepping up and making a play for the Terriers.
Yeah, good, great athlete. Again, hands guy, knows what's coming, knows what he's doing, knows how to handle it. And
Terriers will start at the 47.
Yeah, we got running clock here. So you had 3 plays. I don't see anything crazy coming here. If this is, we're going to see a timeout by the Terriers, right?
Yeah. Make sure they know what they're doing. Make sure they're in the right place.
I wouldn't hate to see this be a handoff to Connor Perry for one last run on Hadley Field, and then be able to have Declan Leasai go into victory formation for his last time on this field.
Of course, that last touchdown did take us out of running clock, though. It's 30 points now.
Yeah, you don't foresee anybody. This is an opportunity where I think Coach Lockerbie is like, hey, listen, we played very clean game. We played very hard. We know, they're frustrated. They're angry. I don't foresee the way that I've talked to Coach Nine that this Mount Abraham team's going to do anything foolish here. Neither are the Terriers, right? One running play gets you to victory formation. Call it a day. Everybody can get out of here and get home and enjoy the rest of their weekend. And the Terriers can watch some film and be ready for Woodstock, who's going to be chomping at the bit to have another shot at taking down the Terriers.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Bellows Falls could have any more motivation than a rematch against Woodstock.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I don't think you need any bulletin board material for that.
No, they've been hearing about it since it happened, I think. Leasai under center here with 2 minutes, 21 seconds to go, 44-14 game. Stephen James behind center deep. Takes the handoff right up the middle. Tough 9-10 yard run for Stephen James. James is up to about 35 yards here in tonight's game.
Yeah, last couple weeks. Right, good job with getting that first push behind Big Steve, and everybody looks at the other two, and Steph just keeps doing his thing, and I loved seeing him play really well tonight. His blocking and his defense has been the best it's been in the last couple of weeks, and
he
good
played
for
a
him.
Great game last week against Mill River too.
Yeah.
After struggling a little bit in that Woodstock game, a little bit in the game before that as well. Forgetting that one. So it looks like you're right, Nate, as we go into victory formation here with 1:33 to go. Leasai takes the snap and sets down. So as we finish this up, Nate, we had 136 yards or so from Basin at halftime. They picked up another 45, 47, picked up another 60 yards here in the second half. So we got right around 200 again. Another touchdown pass. Patty Connors got up around 100 yards based on what I've got here. Jake Tostrup and Andrew Goyette each coming up with touchdown receptions. All around great effort from the Terriers tonight.
Absolutely. You can't be more proud of these seniors. Like the leader again, Cam Perry, Connor Perry, Steph James. I mean,
Jacob Tostrup, Declan Leasai.
And it's awesome. And again, Jane Basin.
Yeah.
It's. I'm running out of things to say, and again, Gatorade Player of the Year is not easy to get in this state, and I don't care who you are, but what he's done to carry the load, another 5 touchdown game, and another 5 touchdown game.
Right.
I mean, it's you have an opportunity.
It's a special season.
You have an opportunity next week against Woodstock in South Burlington for a 2,000-yard, 35 touchdown season. So your number one leading rusher, Jane Basin, in the top 8, Patty Connors, right? Like cracks that top 8. He's right in that top 10 area as well with his pile of touchdowns. Again, it's hard. You're running out of stuff to say, but it's awesome.
Yeah, great great team win tonight. Great to see Bazin break free. Great to see Connors break free. Great to see Tostrup and all these other guys make plays tonight. And the same thing over and over again. Seeing Colton Colburn come up with plays on special teams. Just seeing unsung heroes step up game after game to make plays. When they're put in the place to make the play, they're making the play. And that's unbelievable.
And we know in being a coach, players play. Bob Lockerbie has been unbelievable for this program in the amount of years he's been here. You're semifinals or finals. What seems like every single year when you lose 10 seniors, 8 seniors, 12 seniors, you lose a Jed Lober, Caden Haskell, you lose all of these guys, and you continue to focus on the fundamentals in the high school football, which is we're going to run it down your throat. Let's see what you can do about it. And congratulations to Bob and Ryan and Donnie Lorendo and the rest of the staff here at Bells Falls, because you got a shot at another banner in the gym.
Yep, you overcame the demon of last year's semifinals loss here at Hadley Field to actually get the job done. Move on to South Burlington. Special kids, special season. We'll see what a special game they can play next week, Nate.
Yeah, and you just mentioned it, real quick, as we got a text message that kind of came in. Hartford, not so undefeated anymore in the semifinals. I think they got beat by Fairhaven 14-13. That's what it looks like. So it's crazy.
Because Hartford was undefeated.
Yeah, it looked like probably the best team in the state. We thought that with Bells Falls, but rewind quick to the end of the first half. You can't take your foot off the throttle in the playoffs. You got to be able to continue, and you got to be consistent, and you got to want to be able to grind it out for the 48 minutes it takes to win a football game.
Yep. Well, on that note, I want to say thanks to my co-host Nate. Been an absolute pleasure doing these games with you this year. Thank you to everyone for tuning in when you have. We look forward to watching the Terriers try to hang that banner next week. We won't be with you on Fact TV, but we'll do what we can. All right. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.